Live from Pan American Stadium in City Park, New Orleans, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana high school football. Tonight it's a second-round matchup in Division II Select as the number 13 seed Vandebilt Catholic Terriers take on the 4th seeded John F. Kennedy Cougars. I'm Matt Sims bringing you the play-by-play tonight. Joining me momentarily will be my analyst, Coach Wade Kaiser. This game features a couple of teams that are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to offense. Vandebilt likes to run the ball, one-back offense, ball control, keep the ball out of the other team's hand. John F. Kennedy likes to suffocate offenses, give up no points, and when they get on the field, Wade, they can flat score some points and move the ball around the field.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Matt. And tonight Vanderbilt's going to have to stick to that MO, right? That thing that they've done all year long, keep the ball out of the opposing offense's hands if they want to try to keep this score down, and I'm sure that's going to be part of their game plan. This John F. Kennedy offense, as you said, can put some points up. 41.8 points per game. I mean, that is pretty smoking, right? Those guys are all over the place. And then defensively, they do a great job, only giving up 3.8 points per game. So, Vanderbilt better have the game plan down to keep the ball out of that offense's hands.
Yeah, Vanderbilt comes into the game with a record of 6-4. They're the 13 seed, as we said. They defeated Frederick Douglass last week by a score of 28-6. Their 4 losses, though, this season have come against good competition: Edie White, Lutcher, St. Charles Catholic, and Assumption. So you're not really sure what to make of them as a 6-4 team because they haven't beaten one of those top-tier teams. And a lot of people believe this Kennedy team is one of those top-tier teams.
Well, from everything that Kennedy showed and has shown this year, from the people that they've played, the scores that they've put up, the points they've put up, and the shutouts that they've pitched, they definitely look like one of those top-tier teams.
John F. Kennedy comes into the game record of 9-1. Had a bye in the first round of the playoffs last week. It's their second consecutive playoff berth after going 34 years without a playoff berth when they made the playoffs last year. Last year they won in the second round 30-0 and then went on to lose in the quarterfinals to Edie White 42-20. Their only loss this season came against Class 5A Santa Mont, where they lost a close one 20-14. The defense has pitched 6 shutouts this season, including 5 in a row against the district competition to end the season. They outscored the district, Wade, 282-0.
Right. I had to, when you say that, I had to pull out my calculator and I had to run those numbers again, right? I mean, as I said, they're electrifying offensively. They can put some points up real fast. They've got athletes that can definitely go vertical, horizontal, and they got the guy that can get it to them.
Defense has only given up 3.8 points per game, only 34 points given up on the season altogether, and 20 of those came to Santa Moss. So This is a defense that is used to shutting out opponents, and so you really got to wonder how well Vandebilt Catholic's going to be able to move the ball against them because they are a single-back running team. That's what they want to do.
Right, and up front, if you look at, man-on-man size versus size, John F. Kennedy has some size up front on that defensive line, and if defense wins championships, as they say, they're right in line to get an opportunity to win one in Division II.
That's right, and this defense is led by senior safety Bernard Causey, who just committed to LSU on October 24th, 6'1", 160-pound safety. He runs a 4.45 40-yard dash, so that's a very speedy man to try to throw the ball against if Vandebilt gets into passing situations. And the winner of this game will go on to the quarterfinals to take on the winner of the Archbishop Shaw Evangel Christian game, which is also taking place here in the metro area over in Marrero at Joe Zimmerman Field. So we'll keep you updated on the score of that one throughout the night. Both teams out at midfield with the coin toss. And we'll see who wins the toss. Looks like Kennedy has won the toss. And they're trying to get them lined up the right direction.
Stir them all around there.
There we go. So Kennedy has won the toss, and they have elected to receive, so no surprise there. You imagine if they won the toss, they'd want to put that offense out on the field first thing and test the Terrier defense.
I would have. Definitely.
Well, they did, and they are. So we're going to see how they do, but we'll pause here momentarily as the national anthem. Stop hearing you for a second. You got a flag you can show me? Cougars offense gets set to take the field hill after the kick. Kick returners will be back for the Cougars will be Jonathan Strouder and Kingston Jones. Offensively, this team's led by Amani Derensburg, junior quarterback, left-hander, gunslinger, as we saw in pregame warm-ups. Wade?
Now, throwing it all over from hash mark to sideline, wide comeback outs and post corners from opposite hash to opposite pylon, right? This guy was dropping dimes in warm-ups, and he was, like you said, gunslinging it all over the place.
And talking to Vandebilt coaches before the game, a lot of respect for this Kennedy team from what they've seen on film, right?
Right. They, of course, down on the field talking to coaches before the game, Vandebilt coaches are very impressed with what they see from John F. Kennedy and Coach Elphage and his staff and what they do with these young men. They are very prepared each week, and it shows on film.
So good. Strouder and Jones back to receive the kick. Vandebilt set to kick it off. And we are underway. They're going to kick it deep to him. It's going to go to Strouder. He's going to take it in at about the 7, bring it out, 20, 25, trying to turn the sideline. He's up to the 30, makes a cut inside, down at about the 39. And they're going to start in pretty good field position there, Wade, right about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, nice return out to the 40-yard line. Here's a good look at it on the replay. Good blocking over there on the right-hand side of the field by the Cougar kickoff return team. When you're starting at the 40-yard line of your opponent, then you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, not bad starting field position for an offense as explosive as theirs, as I mentioned, led by Amani Derensburg. He's going to have trips receivers to the near side, single back in the backfield, wide receiver on the far side of the field. So coming right out of the gate, spreading it here. He's got Kenneth Chelsea in the backfield with him. He'll take the snap, looking to pass. He's looking to go deep right off the bat. He's got a man there, and it is overthrown. He was going for Kingston Jones there. He had him, just put a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, had a step on the defender. Vandebilt opens up in a too-high secondary, right? The safety needed to get over the top of that number 1 vertical to that trip side, and you could see the speed of Kingston Jones just leaving those guys in the dust as he runs right past them. Vandebilt starts off in a 5-man box, 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and everybody else playing in the secondary, right? Normally that is a run box for an offense. You would think somebody would run the football against 5. Not Kennedy.
Not here, no. There's where we're looking back to the sideline for the play call. Again, trips receivers near side, 1 back in the backfield, 1 wide receiver on the far side of the field. He'll take the snap. This time it's going to be a handoff, and they're going to get him in the backfield. Huge play there by number 43. That is Cooper Cassian with the big tackle on Kenneth Chelsea for a loss there. And so very nice play defensively. They must have they must have known the run was coming there because they were set up for that perfectly.
Yeah, they brought blitz from the second level. Cooper Cassian does a nice job getting right through the B gap, doesn't get picked up, and they're going to, throw Kennedy for a loss. So it is now 3rd and long.
Yeah, about a 6-yard loss there, so it'll be 3rd and 16. Aaronsburg getting the play in. Again, trips receivers near side. Single receiver on the far side. He'll take the snap, looking to pass, and he's going deep again. He's got his man, and again overthrows him. This time, that's James Evans. Don't necessarily know if the deep ball was needed right there. I think they're giving you enough space inside. They could have gotten probably a 10, 15-yard pass in to get the first down.
Well, it's a combination wheel route there. You had post, wheel by the number 2 receiver, flat by the number 3 receiver, common route against that type of coverage, and they were going to take the shot down the field. Vandebilt also, Matt, looks like they're going to come in with a game plan of trying to put some pressure on Darrensburg, trying to blitz from the second level and bring different guys from different areas of the field to be able to try to confuse the line blocking of the Cougars to get home to Darrensburg.
And Nahum Lalin back to take the snap and the punt. He gets it off. And it's going to be fielded at about the 35, and good open field tackle there. It was fielded by number 16. That was Henri Lepere. Good tackle there by Tyler Morrison. But first defensive series of the game for Vandebilt. They have to be very pleased with that.
Well, Kennedy's trying to stretch that thing vertically. They're trying to get you back on your heels so then maybe they can come at you on the next series and run the football a little bit against that 5-man front that Vandebilt has given them. Now we're going to see what the Terriers are going to be able to do out of their run-oriented offense.
Yeah, quarterback Brent Babin in the backfield. He'll hand it off to, that's Jalen Coleman, who goes up Babin keeps it, bounces outside. He makes the corner. He's past the 50, past the 45, out of bounds at about the Kennedy 41-yard line. Very nice run there by Babin on the option.
Yeah, zone read. He's going to read the last guy on the line of scrimmage right there, and you can see number 20, Nicholas Thomas, screaming down the line of scrimmage right there, chasing down the back. What does Babin do? He reads it perfectly, pulls it for a huge gain.
Yeah, 24-yard gain there by Babin on first down. So very nice play. Trips receivers near side for the Terriers. Babin will take the snap, hands it off to Coleman. He's hit initially in the backfield, but breaks free, and he's going to pick up about a gain of 3.
Yeah, Coleman's their guy. He's going to be their workhorse. He's going to be the guy that's going to carry the ball all night. Number 4, 5'9", 165-pound junior. Here he is running the ISO play right there. You can see the backside guard wrapping around. Not much doing for those big guys in yellow coming in and squeezing that thing off.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Terriers. Babin changing the play at the line. He'll take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Coleman up the middle. Somebody lost a helmet there. That's going to be number 77 for Kennedy. That's Devin Sims, no relation here. That's a 2-yard pickup there for Coleman to bring up 3rd and 5.
I was going to say Devin's a big man now. I don't know.
Well, look, when I was in high school now, I was 6'1", 300 pounds, so I was a big lineman.
Oh, okay,
too,
so you were a big guy too.
So if there was a relation, we'd be keeping it in the family tradition there.
But they also grow them big up there in North Louisiana, don't they?
We do. A lot of cornbread and fried chicken in my neck of the woods. 3rd and 5. Babin takes the snap, rolls out to the far side, throws it for receiver. And he's got him. That is going to be – no, it's incomplete. He dropped it. He had his man there, number 3, Jaree Coleman, but he could not hang on to the pass. It would have been a first down.
Yeah, he's trying to get the ball to Jaree Coleman. He's going to move the pocket. Everything's turned back protection. Get the ball on the out there to Coleman. Ball's just down and out, and Coleman can't hold on to the ball. Good coverage out there by number 1, that LSU commit, Bernard Causey.
Not the man you want to go up against with throwing the football, but you can bet he's going to be shadowing Coleman because that's their number 1 go-to receiver. So 4th down and 5 here. Looks like they're going to go for it. Can't say I'm surprised here. A little bit too far away for a field goal, too close for a punt. Got motion and snap to Babin. And he's got pressure, and he's just got to get rid of it. Boy, he gets leveled by the defender. That is number 9. That is Hurley McDonald. He came uncontested right up the middle and blew up that play, Wade.
You can see him coming off of the right side of the Vandebilt offensive line. He does a little X stunt where he comes in through the B gap right there, stacks behind the defensive tackle. Tackle goes one way, Hurley goes the other. Nobody picks up Hurley. Hurley gets home. Big sack. Big 4th down for the Cougars.
Big time play there, so that'll give Kennedy the ball now, their 2nd offensive possession of the game. They'll start at their own 36 with 9 minutes, 13 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
That was my favorite,
Again, now they're going to have split receivers both sides. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. There he goes. And he's going to trip him up at about the 41. That's number 24. Is that 24, Omarion Brown.
Well, see what happens when you throw verticals in your first series. They run counter on the very first play of the second series, and everybody's vertical up the field. The defensive lineman trying to get after the quarterback, and then there you go. You got Amari Brown up the gap on the counter, and we got a penalty.
Yeah, they were going to line up and go tempo, and looked like Jonathan Strouder was going a little bit too much tempo as he was the one who jumped offside there and stopped the momentum after that huge gain of 23 yards for Brown.
You know, most teams want to stay inside the sticks. Like Vandebilt wants to stay inside the sticks. Staying inside the sticks for the Cougars aren't a problem, right? Because they can throw the ball all over the field. It doesn't bother them to be 1st and 15.
Split receivers, 1st and 15 from the Terrier 46 now. Yeah, Jones and Strouder on the near side of the field. Omarion Brown in the backfield. Wasn't in the backfield for the first series, but it didn't take them long to put him back there and for him to have an impact. And now we're going to have a timeout, so they want to talk it over.
Who called that timeout?
It looks like that was a Kennedy timeout.
Our cheerleaders down there one time. Y'all deal with enough of them girls down.
So let's see. Yep, Kennedy timeout. That's their first timeout. So we'll take a moment here. Let you know tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership. It's membership. Must be a reason.
Well, one of the things when you're throwing those verticals, Matt, and you get those defensive backs on their heels and you get those defensive linemen up the field, then all of a sudden you come in and you run some sort of trap counter scheme, gap scheme, which is exactly what Kennedy did there on that first play. You're going to get somebody up the field, and it's going to create some sort of void, and that's exactly what happened. So it's amazing how that you can see how the game plan Kennedy is trying to use in order to get Vandebilt on their heels defensively.
Yeah. Terrensburg will take the snap. He's going to pitch it off to Strouder, who cuts it inside. He's up to the 35-30, evades tacklers. He's going to be tackled from behind at the 30-yard line. Tackle made there by number 9. That's John Wade for the Terriers. But a nice pickup from the 46 up to the 30. That's a 16-yard pickup for
Strouder breaks a few ankles on this run, right? He definitely broke mine up here in the press box. Nice moves.
Derensburg takes a snap. It's a screen. He's going to throw it to Brown. Brown breaks. He evades the tackler, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 10. Touchdown saving push out of bounds by Jacob Fairchild, the senior linebacker for the Terriers. But that's going to be almost, it's going to be a 17-yard gain on that pass.
I rushed the.
Tell you what, set up nicely, executed nicely. Bad tackling by the Terriers. It's the second play in a row that we've seen guys in white jerseys dive in at ankles, and there's nothing there when they dive at them. That's how quick Kennedy is, right? Execution on the screen, nicely done. 1st and 10
at the 13. Again, 4 wide receivers. Derensburg in the backfield with Brown beside him. Looking back for the play call. And he's going to take the snap, looking to pass near side. He's got a man over the middle. That is a touchdown. That is number 10, Kingston Jones, for the 13-yard touchdown pass. And just like that, that explosive offense strikes.
Yeah, Kingston Jones beats Logan Hemel, to the post. They catch him in a man coverage. It's going to be tough to cover these guys in man coverage with no safety help across top. That's what happens when you bring the blitz and you're in zero coverage, nobody in the center of the field to guard against the post. If you get beat to the inside, it's 6 points, and that's exactly what happened.
And extra point attempt now. And that kick is good. Nahum Lalin, extra point. Right down the middle. That'll make it 7-0 Cougars. 7:49 to play in the first quarter. So first defensive series went really well for the Terriers. They held them to -6 yards. Second series, not so well. Kennedy Cougar offense got rolling there.
Well, got rolling, also figured out a couple of things. Number one, Vandebilt was going to bring blitzes inside the A gaps and the B gaps right up the middle. So where do you hit them? You hit them on a sweep outside one time. You hit them with a counter one time. You hit them with a screen one time. And then they caught them right in man coverage. They had the right play dialed up, and then they really zipped them with that. So they're kind of figuring things out as they go along. And as, they go through their call sheets, they know exactly, Coach Elfage is down there making little marks on a piece of paper on his call sheet, knowing exactly what's going to be next in the next series as far as what he knows that Vandebilt has already given him.
Yep.
It's a chess game. I mean, now Vanderbilt's going to be on their sideline defensively saying, okay, we're going to have to mix things up now. We're going to have to give them a little bit more of this, a little bit more blitzes off the edge. It's a chess game, and that's how the game's kind of played between coaches.
And the kick's away. It's going to be fielded at about the 12-yard line, brought up the far side of the field. And they're going to bottle him up at about the 23. That is number 3. It is Jari Coleman on that return. So it'll be 1st and 10 at about the 23-yard line for the Terriers.
Yeah, Jalen Coleman and Jari Coleman cousins supply a lot of the Vandebilt electricity for their offense. Those are the guys that are their big play weapons, have been all season.
Yeah.
Jalen Coleman comes in with, 1,512 yards rushing, I believe, right?
18 touchdowns.
18 touchdowns. So the guy is electric, running behind a solid offensive line. They're going to get tested here tonight.
Yep, also got 148 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, so he can do it all. Bobbin will take the snaps, a handoff, Coleman up the middle. He's going to get to about the 29, so about a 6-yard pickup there.
Well, you can run the ball for 6 yards on first down. That puts you right into your wheelhouse on where you want to be in between the chains. That opens up a lot of things, Matt, on that call sheet, right?
Yeah.
It gives those offensive coordinators things now that they can, it's kind of like a smorgasbord. They can choose and pick exactly what they want to do. So it's being inside the chains is what is part of their game plan.
So 2nd and 4. Bauman will take the snap. This time he's going to keep it himself up the middle. And not much of a gain there, I'm going to say.
Looks like we got a down Terrier there. Nice tackle by Calvin Sparrow. Watch him do a nice job and grab Coleman by the ankles right there. Can't tell who that is down. I don't know if that's Coleman. No, it looks like an offensive lineman. Yes. Just can't get a number.
Looks like maybe number 70, Kylan Johnson. Oh, he got the way that play went. He might have gotten rolled up on. There was a
Right.
It really turned into a dog pile there. And a lot of times you'll see the lineman not even know what happened. Just all of a sudden he just gets a tsunami of players running into him there. Now it looks like 78. That's going to be William Newman.
Center. It's tough when you get somebody in your battery hurt, right? Your center. So now you got to bring in a new center. They're over there getting snaps right now. We're going to have to look for that as the Vandebilt offense comes out with a second team center.
So that's tough. He hobbles off the field with the help of the coaches, but that doesn't look like a quick return. So now you're going to bring in your second string center who's going to now have to play the rest of the game potentially against a very big JFK defensive line.
Yep. First thing he's got to do is get the snap online, right? So
Babin will take the snap on 3rd and 5, looking to pass. He's got a man over the middle. Might have been a little bit of contact, but the pass was high. It was intended for Scott Adele. And it falls incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down. So exactly what they did not want was a 3-and-out situation following the touchdown drive by the Cougars.
A lot of pressure put on off the edge by the Cougars, getting right in the face of Babin. His intended receiver, like you said, was Scott Haydale running a post route right there, trying to get inside the corner and underneath the safety.
So back to punt will be Justin Ramirez. Deep to return, about the 45-yard line, is James Evans for the Cougars. There's the punt. He'll get it off. Nice punt. Sending Ramirez back. It's going to hit at about the 33. Bounces inside the 30, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 25. So nice punt there by Justin Ramirez there to help flip the field for Vanderbilt and put the Cougars back deep inside their own territory.
Well, everybody's running that rugby kick, right? It seems like everybody out of Australia or has gone to Australia to study how to kick that thing on the run, end over end, trying to get the, I guess you would say, the extended roll or the check-up ball inside the 20 or whatever they're trying to do. It seems to be the thing nowadays, and it's filtered down to the high school game, right? So you're watching all these high school punters not using the traditional punting method.
Yep. But that time it works out because he both got distance on it and got the roll that he was looking for. So Cougars now 3rd offensive drive of the quarter and of the game. They'll start at their own 25. 6:39 to play in the first quarter. Darrensburg back behind center and shotgun. Trips receivers. He's going to throw it out to his running back in the flat, but that is incomplete. He was trying to go to Kenneth Chelsea again.
Yeah, just off his hands, right? Ball's placed perfectly, hits you in the middle of the hands. He's going to come off on the sideline. Coach is going to look at him and tell him a couple of words. Catch the ball, right? Where did it hit you?
It looked like it was shaping up that he was going to have a nice gain to go there. That might have been what happened. He started looking upfield a little early.
Well, those receivers used to come off at the other end of the field with me because I was looking for them, right? Dude, where did it hit you?
But Chelsea's going to stay in the game. He's in the backfield beside Darrensburg. Again, trips receivers near side. Looking to pass. Now he's looking at the receiver on the far side of the field. Pass is complete. That is number 3, Joey Davis. It's right at the 1st down marker. It looks like they're going to give it to him. So that's going to be a 10-yard gain to Joey Davis.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of cushion over there, right? So you're going to press the defensive back's technique, get them off, and break that route off right at the sticks. Ball's delivered on target, 1st down, Cougars.
And now here we go, tempo offense. Darrensburg, this time he'll hand it off to Chelsea. He bounces it outside, and he's going to be tripped up in the backfield. Nice tackle there again by Jacob Fairchild. That's going to be about, looks like it's going to be a 2-yard loss. Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 33, so that'll be a 2-yard loss for Chelsea.
Yeah, Jacob Fairchild does a nice job just scraping. Scrape, does a nice job, then getting a hold of an ankle to trip up the running back, Fairchild.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12. Now we have trips receivers on the far side. Single receiver on the near side. He fakes the handoff. He's looking across the middle. There it is, soft coverage. And he's going to be out near a 1st down. He's going to have the 1st down again. taking advantage of that soft coverage. And that pass was completed to number 4. That is James Evans, his first catch of the night. That's going to go for a gain of 13.
Look, here's the deal with soft coverage, right? You're going to let them catch the ball, but you can't have the yak after the catch, right? Yard after the catch. The minute they catch the ball, you got to converge and you got to put them down right there. And that is not what is happening in the Vandebilt secondary.
So up to the 46. Screen pass to number 6, but the Terriers were all over it. They're going to stop him. That's going to be a loss of about a yard. Pass was completed to Jonathan Strouder, but nice job of discipline there by the Terrier defense to stay at home on that and make the tackle for a loss there on the attempted wide receiver screen.
Well, there you go. That was a good job not letting yak happen. Yards after the catch. Great job by the linebacker right there, Andrew Sonji, getting there, making the play.
So this will bring up 3rd and 11 now from their own 45. They've got to get it to the Vandebilt Catholic 44. Again, we'll have trips receivers near side. Chelsea in the backfield beside Darrensburg. He'll take the snap. He's looking far side of the field. There's double coverage there. That's dangerous. And it is incomplete. He was looking for Joey Davis on the far side of the field there. But that play must have been designed to go that way because he never even glanced on the near side of the field and just threw it into the double coverage.
Yeah, vertical all the way. Safety gets across the top of a too-high coverage. That's Josh Johnson getting over there across the top, as he should, from his safety position, off the hash, underneath coverage by the corner, running on the hip. Nice job by the Vandebilt secondary that time.
So 4th and 11, and they're going to go for it here, lined up at their own 45. Darrensburg takes the snap, rolling back, looking to pass. He's got a running back on the near side. He's going to throw it. It is almost intercepted. Boy, he looked the defender right there as he was trying to go to James Evans, an undercut by number 5, Paul Boudreau, who nearly came away with the interception there, but it's probably good he didn't because they got better field position now.
Yeah, Paul Boudreau does a nice job just dropping into that hook position, right? The ball, and then he works over to the curl. Then the ball just wasn't high enough. Just off the fingertips of Boudreau, could have came up with that pick.
That was 3rd down. My apologies. Now it's 4th down. Nope, now we've got a penalty coming right from the umpire. It looks like it's going to be against the Cougars.
All right, looks like we had an illegal procedure. Somebody must have moved. I think what maybe have happened, the center picked the ball up and moved it. So the umpire called the illegal procedure because you can adjust the ball, you just can't move it too far.
It feels like that's a penalty we've seen more in recent weeks here in all the football. Punt is away, and the receiver's going to field it at the 30. Boy, he was crowded around, almost had catch interference there. I'm surprised they didn't call it, but he gets it up to about the 37-yard line, and that's where the Terriers will start.
Oh, Matt, that's a lot of chutzpah catching the ball right in the middle of all those guys. There's a reason why there's a thing called a fair catch, right? Yeah. That's dangerous. You got to learn how to use that hand to catch the ball to keep your team in a position where you have the ball, right?
Henri Lepere with no fear of catching that. He caught it right in the right in the heat of the moment and got yards out of it too. That's what's even more impressive. A bang play there. So 1st and 10 at the 37. And now it's going to be Jalen Coleman taking the snap out of Wildcat, and he is smothered by a host of Cougar defenders.
Yeah, led by Jermaine Salter. Nobody touched him, right? He's in the backfield all of a sudden, and he's smothering Jalen Coleman.
That's going to be a loss of 5, back from the 37, back to the 32. Almost the 31. We'll call it the 32.
Yeah, that's one of those lookout blocks, right? I mean, you got to get a body on him. Just can't let him run free in your backfield.
Babin back under center now. Coleman in the backfield with him. He's looking to pass. He's going to throw it one-on-one coverage on the far side, and that is incomplete, intended for number 80. That is James Guidry, who had a chance at it. It was just maybe a step ahead of him, but that was a pretty good throw for and a pretty good route for that. Just had a tad bit too much on it.
I like the idea. You got to try to stretch things a little bit every now and then. You got to take a shot, right? You got to let them know that you're not, you're not being bashful, that you're willing to throw that thing down the field.
So 3rd and long here now for the Terriers. Babin rolls out after faking it. He's wanting to go deep. Now he's just going to hang on to it because there's good coverage, and he's going to be undercut at about the 36-yard line by Tyler Morrison. So it's going to be a gain of about 4, but that's going to bring up 4th and 11. They're going to have to punt it away.
Hey, impressed with Kennedy's open field tackling techniques, right? That's a hard thing to do. Watch Tyler Morrison right here come off of the coverage when he knows the quarterback's committed, breaks down and makes a nice tackle in the open field.
Very good open field tackle.
That's a hard thing to do because you don't know whether the quarterback can throw the ball. You're not thinking about where the line of scrimmage is. You've got a guy in coverage that you're responsible for. Tyler Morrison does a nice job knowing all those things, coming up and making a nice football play.
So Ramirez back to punt. Again, rugby punt. This one not nearly as good. This is a wounded duck. It is going out of bounds. It's going to be around the 40, maybe just past it. Now he's going to mark it out of bounds at the 30. Now he's going to move it up. 36-yard line is what they're going to call it. Probably was a tad bit further up, but that's... Now they're going. Now it looks like they're moving it up to the 39, maybe even the 40. So this is getting better by the moment for the Cougars. 39-yard line. That's where we're going to settle. So,
with all this technology we have in the world today, I just don't know why there can't be like a sensor or something that can read that. Mm-hmm. I know it's a money thing, and it's kind of like we still use a chain, right? But there's just some traditions we've got to hold on to. Now you know exactly where the ball would be.
That's right. 1st and 10 at the 39. Darrensburg will take the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Brown. Brown cuts it inside. He's dragging a defender across the 50, and he's up to the 46-yard line. So that is going to be a 15-yard carry for Brown. Boy, he's just a big, powerful back.
Yeah, 2 series ago they run the same play. Guard, tackle, seal, gap play right there, and he hits it downhill. When he's running around in that secondary, he's tough to bring down.
1st and 10 at the Terrier 46-yard line now for Kennedy. Handoff, Brown again right up the middle, and he may take it up the middle. They're going to get him. He evades the tackle at about the 12, and he is in for the touchdown. A very impressive run there. I mean, you or I could have run through the hole right in the middle that offensive line created there. That was some amazing blocking.
You could have ran through that hole.
That's right. Your ankle's broken from earlier.
Right. I got my ankles broken, but I'm also too old. But here's the bottom line. Everything's blocked up front. Nice. Great execution. He hits it downhill, and all of a sudden when you're staring at that coming at you in the secondary, it just goes right past you. That's how hard Brown hits that hole and how fast and electric he is.
And Lalin on for the extra point.
I think that was blocked, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it was blocked, so that is no good. So it is going to be 13-0 is what will be after that touchdown run. So, yeah, blocked. Very nice job. Looks like that was 44 who got up for it for Vandebilt. Samuel Kennard, the senior safety, who got very impressive height on that for the block. So Kennedy now up 13-0. And it looks so far through the first 10 minutes and 15 seconds of the game that their offense is for real, Wade.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you just look at what they've done on paper and the points they've put up, the yardage that they've put up, the stats that they've put up. I mean, these guys, like I said, they are for real. Closing
in on their 21st consecutive quarter without giving up a point with a minute 45 to play. So back deep for the Terriers will be Jari Coleman and Jalen Coleman. And this one's brought in by Jari. He's going to bring it up. Nope, now he's going to cut it back. Oh, coach says never do that, but it might work out for him. He's able to at least get the yards back. But wait, there's nothing more. And there's nothing that'll give a coach a coordinator quicker than seeing a player go upfield and then turn around and start running backwards.
Well, it's a north and south field, right? You can't run east and west. especially against these guys and their speed. Where there are vertical creases, it's north and south. Right there. There's a nice vertical crease in there. He should have stayed in there and pressed that thing. When you see two, split it, right? So you've got to make sure that you press the technique of the defender.
So they're going to mark it at the 25. It's about where he was when he cut it back and started running horizontally. So, I guess I would say it ends up being a push for him in the end. But Babin under center now. Terriers really need something on offense here. Got to get something going. It's a handoff to Coleman. Now we've got a flag. This is going to be probably a false start. And still going in reverse, Wade, from the kickoff. Offense now doing it.
Yep.
The second thing that'll give a coach a coronary.
Oh, yeah, well.
So first and 15 now to back it up to the 20. So on a drive where they really needed to get something going, now they find themselves in first and 15.
Well, I didn't have the coronary. I just lost my hair, right? But we're dealing with kids here, but here we are in, week 12?
Yep.
Okay, so you can't have those type of mistakes. When you're fighting for your life, your playoff life, and you're down from 13, right?
Yep. Babin back in the shotgun, or really pistol, and he's going to hand it off. And boy, that's a face mask, big time handoff. Looked like that was to number 21. That is Robert Sandoff.
Well, it looks like they missed the face mask. I didn't see the flag.
Oh boy, this was egregious. He gets a yard on the play. He's lucky the helmet is even still on right there.
Oh my goodness.
That is number 4. Or I'm sorry, I think number 9, McDonald. And yeah, you see him. Sandoff is trying to stretch it out. Looks like maybe the way that tackle occurred kind of caused him to go down at a weird angle and maybe pulled something, hyperextended it.
Yeah, they twisted his neck all the way around. I can't believe there's not a flag on the ground with that.
Boy,
that's dangerous.
That was, I know you can't see everything as an official, but it's usually not difficult to notice when a player's head in a sudden instant is faced the other direction. But nonetheless, that will bring up second down and 14. Sandoff is going to run off the field, shake this one off.
Oh, it's good to see him getting up and moving, right, for sure.
Yep.
So, and as an offensive lineman, I used to have my face mask pushed up on me where my chin strap is the only thing that kept it on, but I've never had one quite like that.
Yeah, that was back in the days where there was not a penalty for hands to the face, right?
That's right. That's what it was taught.
Right.
Second and 14. We've got 15 seconds and counting to play in the first quarter. Looks like the Terriers are going to get the play off for the last play of the quarter. Babin will hand it off to Coleman. He evades the tackler. He's going to bounce it outside. He's got room to go. He's up to the 25, 30, 35, and is he going to have the first down? They're going to mark him out of bounds just short of it. Looks like at about the 33, so that'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. That'll be a 12-yard carry for Coleman.
Yeah, you kind of see Coleman's elusiveness there, right? Once he bounced outside, he got evaded the tackle from number 21, Richard Carabee, linebacker that came off the edge. You could see him turn on the jets and make some yardage.
57 seconds to play in the first quarter. So second down or third down and a long 2, or third down and a short 3, whatever you want to call it. Babin will hand it off to Coleman up the middle. He is hit, but he was tackled forward. His momentum carried him forward, and I think he's going to have the first down with that.
It's going to be close. A lot of penetration. Watch the penetration of the yellow jerseys getting in the backfield, just disrupting everything. It's like they're reestablishing camp about 1.5 yards back behind the line of scrimmage. Big number 55, Ramel Williams, sitting back there.
And it is a first down, so that's going to be a 3-yard carry for a first down for Coleman. So big, much-needed first down there for the Terriers. They really need to put together some kind of a drive, give their defense a bit of a break. So even though a lot of penetration, they still got the yardage for the first down. Babin will hand it off to Coleman again. He has room to run, but he's met as soon as he gets to the line, but he's still going to pick up about 5, showing some real quickness there, hitting the gap as soon as he gets the handoff.
Well, that's where everything is. You got to run downhill against this fast Cougar defense, right? You're not going to beat these guys all the time out on the edges. You've got to run right at them, make them have to tackle you.
And it took a whole host of them to get him down, too. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 5. And they may let the clock run out now. That's exactly what they're going to do. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. That's going to be it for the first quarter. So an exciting first quarter of action, a very successful first quarter of football for the John F. Kennedy Cougars as they lead the Vandebilt Catholic Terriers by a score of 13-0 at the end of the first quarter here on CrescentCitySports.com. And so as the teams go to the sideline, prepare to switch ends of the field. Your first thoughts on the Kennedy defense and the Terrier offense?
Well, John F. Kennedy has a lot of speed out there, right? I mean, we can see them run sideline to sideline as a defense. They've got good size up front. And, Vanderbilt's got to be very selective in what they do offensively. They're going to have to be able to be patient. Mm-hmm. They've got to be able to mix in a pass every now and then just to kind of keep these guys on their heels. I like when Vanderbilt gets out on the edge, especially on some play-action stuff, to give Babin, their quarterback, some options. But their running game is going to have to consist of running downhill at these guys. They haven't come back with the zone read yet. I like to see them come back with the zone read. We saw them run that successfully in their very first offensive series. They haven't shown that yet because this Kennedy Cougar defense can flat run you down.
Yes, they can. So start the second quarter. 2nd down and 5 at the 40. Babin's looking to throw. He's got a receiver one-on-one. It's a 50-50 ball, and that's going to fall incomplete as he was looking for number 3. That is Jari Coleman, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5. Babin still looking for his first completion of the night.
Well, look, I like it. I already said every now and then they're going to have to take that vertical shot, maybe a 50-50 ball, and you're going to come up with something. All right, so I like the decision. Okay, now you got to have something that is set for you.
Oh, we've got a penalty.
Oh, we did have a penalty. It's going to give them an automatic first down. It looks like. And there it is right there. Yep. So they're going to move the chains. Had to be some sort of
that's a 15-yarder. So
personal foul.
Yep. So that is going to be.
I didn't see anything. But I'm sure Vandebilt will take it.
Yeah, that'll move it up to the 45-yard line. So the Terriers are in Cougar territory. Babin in shotgun. Coleman behind him. Pistol formation, rather. And he's going to hand it off to Coleman. And, boy, he is smothered immediately. That is Jermaine Salter, who was on him the moment he got the ball. Nice defensive play there.
Yeah, they run the
2-yard loss.
Right, it's zone read right there, except with the wrapper around. They're going to try to, I would think, come back and run something off that to try to take advantage of Jermaine Salter's aggressive nature coming down the line of scrimmage right there.
Yep. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 12 now from the 47. We got motion. Coleman coming from the far side of the field. Yeah, line up in the slot on the near side now. Babin will take the snap. It's a handoff to Coleman. He evades a defender who got in the backfield quickly, but then he's met by a couple others. Led amongst, again, by Jermaine Salter for a gain of about 2 yards back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 45.
Yeah, they're pulling players, gap play. They're trying to pull players and block gap back. Those guys in yellow are so fast, they're running past those gap blocks. I know you're an offensive lineman from high school, so you know when you're playing against somebody up front that's faster than you and you've got to block back to your backside gap, you've got to go to where they're going to be, not to where they were. Correct.
And not just where they're going to be, you got to beat them there.
Correct. And that's not happening with the guys in the white jerseys up front.
Babin will take the snap, fakes the handoff, looking to throw over the middle, and it is going to be intercepted. He threw it way too deep That is intercepted by number 13, Kennedy Tyler. He's bringing it back to the near field, and they're going to big tackle down to the 32. He is brought down. Is that number 80? James Guidry and John Wade both in on that, but I mean, he was triple covered there. That was just not a really good play.
Well, it's off of play action, right? And that's the free safety right there. They had a man covered on the tight end that was running the vertical seam. Free safety, Kennedy Tyler plays it nicely, gets right across the top of the vertical route, the vertical seam, and just picks the ball off.
So that's an interception. That'll give, and that was number 9, John Wade, who had the big tackle, very reminiscent WWE style there, picking him up and body slamming him over the back, but no penalty called, but Kennedy will take over, ending the Terrier drive.
They must have had a flag because they're moving the ball backwards.
Wow.
So it had to be from, looked like it was from a spot of the foul, so we're either at a block in the back or a holding penalty.
So that's going to bring it back to the 17-yard line now with 10-12 to play in the second quarter. Derensburg throws it out, far side of the field. Receiver evades 2 tacklers, cuts it back inside. Big gain up to the 40-yard line. That is number 6, Jonathan Strouder. And he got up and kept going, but I was pretty sure he was down. So Strouder up to the 41. That's a 24-yard gain.
Look at these moves right here. Whoop, whoop. 3 guys, 4 guys.
And almost a horse collar there.
Right, and it looks like you couldn't tell whether or not he was down on the ground. He looked like he rolled on top of the Vandebilt player and got up and kept going.
Yeah,
great sense of understanding his body to know that he was not on the ground. Foul. It looked like there's a penalty, and they're going to mark it back again.
So must have had a block in the backs from the spot there.
Yep.
So no. So instead, that'll wind up being with a penalty. That's a 15-yarder, so it's going to back it up, or a 10-yarder rather. It's going to back it up to the 23-yard line, so it'll wind up being a 6-yard gain on that.
All that work for 6 yards, right?
I mean, Derensburg rolling out, escaping the pressure, looking for looking for Davis on the near side, but incomplete.
Well, he was looking for his number 1 receiver down at the bottom part of your screen on a double move. There was a nice little hitch and go, and the Vandebilt defender, Landon Ross, did a nice job of not biting on that. They sat back there in a zone scheme, right? And so that forced Derensburg to pull the ball down. He was ready to let that thing sail, and, good quarterbacks will recognize those sort of things. He pulls the ball down and he throws the ball at the feet of his next receiver right there, throws it away, gives him a chance to play another down.
2nd down and 4. Split receivers both sides. Chelsea in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Chelsea. No, it's not. Derensburg kept it himself, but he dropped the ball, hit the ground. Very lucky the Terriers didn't come up with it, and Derensburg was able to dive on it and recover the fumble. So let's see this on the replay. Was this just a missed handoff, or maybe it was an RPO where he was going to keep it and Chelsea thought he was giving it to him, and that caused the ball to hit the deck?
Yeah, well, in the backfield, all of a sudden was Cooper Cassian right back there. Almost took the handoff, right? So something just didn't click offensively. Don't know if it's RPO. Don't know if it was a missed handoff.
So that's going to be a loss of 7. So bring up 3rd and 11 from the 16-yard line. Derensburg looking to pass. Again, coming to Davis, and it bounced off his hands. And boy, if Fairchild had been Johnny on the spot there, he might have been able to get an interception off this bounce, it looked like.
Yeah, Vandebilt just still sitting in zone. A lot of cushion there, a lot of back pedal, open your hips, and ball comes zipping in. The route's broken off nicely. Again, hits you in the hands. You got to catch the football.
Or Landon Ross actually is who was the cornerback who looked like he might have been able to make a play on that. But nonetheless, that'll bring up 4th down, and the Cougars will have to punt it away.
I'm a 16.
And so Lalin will come back on the field to punt. He's going to be, this is a dangerous area here, Coach. So you got to, I really wonder if the Terriers wouldn't consider trying to send some people after him, considering he's going to be punting from his own 3 or 4, and it's not a very good punt. Hits the ground, gets a nice bounce, though. Oh, but a Cougar defender gets in the way. That ball probably was going to roll inside the 40, but instead it bounces off of him at the 48-yard line, and that's where the Terriers will take over.
That's why you don't play with a round ball, right? That thing takes some funny bounces. You've got to know where it is. You've got to have a sense of, I guess you would say, positioning on the field, exactly knowing in what direction you're punting that ball as a coverage person. That took away probably about 10 or better hidden yardage on that punt.
So as we mentioned in the pregame, the winner of this contest is going to take on the winner of the Archbishop Shaw Evangel Christian game, which is going on across the river in Marrero tonight. And score update on that one in the first quarter. They are tied 6-6. Babin under center, or in pistol. Takes the snap at 44. He's going to hand it off right up the middle. That is going to be maybe about 2 yards there. Again, the defense just bottling up Coleman.
Well, Kennedy's 4-2-5, 4-down linemen. They're going to have to do something to control those 2 defensive ends. Those guys are screaming off the edge, right?
Yep.
So you either going to have to, you call it split zone, block back and get a body on that guy, or you're going to have to control him with some sort of read play. Zone read, as they did in the first quarter a couple of times.
2nd down and 8. Gavin will take the snap. Again, it's a handoff to Coleman. Again, smothered in the backfield. It's actually pretty miraculous he even got positive yardage on that way. They were on him basically from the moment he got the handoff.
Yeah. As I said, guys in yellow are camping in the backfield of the guys in white. Everybody's back there. Look at that. Brought both linebackers that time in both A-gaps. A lot of penetration up front.
Devin Sims, one of the ones in there. So it's going to be 3rd down and 7 now from the Cougar 49-yard line for the Terriers. They might be in 4-down territory here, considering the way the game's going so far. Babin takes the snap. He's going to roll out to the far side, and he's just going to launch it out of bounds, looking for number 80, James Guidry. It almost looked like they were trying to set up some type of wide receiver screen with Coleman on the far side, because you saw him peeling back, but the defense was all over it, and Babin very smartly electing to just throw it out of bounds.
Well, everything was covered. Smart play by Babin. Just get rid of the ball. Do not put that thing into their hands. I've already thrown 1 pick. Don't want to give up another one at midfield. Let's punt that ball and try to flip it.
No, so Terriers will go ahead and punt it. Justin Ramirez on for the punt. James Evans back to receive, standing at about his own 16-yard line. Ramirez gets it. He's going to have to get rid of it. Almost had some pressure on him. Ball's going to hit about the 20. Takes a friendly bounce inside the 10, and it is going to be stopped at about the 6 or 7-yard line. So, again, the rugby punt works out pretty well for him.
Could have probably milked a few more yards out of that thing had they been just a tad bit more patient, right?
It looks like we had a momentary. I thought they might have had a official timeout for an injury, but the player got up off the field, so everybody is good. So it's going to be 1st down and 10 from the. Looks like the 7. 7:07 to play in the second quarter. So big defensive series here for the Terriers. They've got them pinned back pretty deep, as deep as they've started all night. A chance here, if they can get a 3 and out, more than likely with the punt, would get the ball back around midfield with the chance to try to score before halftime. And for Kennedy, you've got to think this is your chance here to really try to throw an early knockout blow to them. If you can march down the field and get points on this drive as well as eating up the clock, that's going to be really mentally tough for them to bounce back from. So very important drive for both teams here. Darrensburg takes the snap. He's about the 2. He's going to keep it himself, fakes the handoff. He's out to the 10, to the 15, actually about the 14. But we've got a flag. This is going to be a hold, and it's coming back.
Yeah, it's right in the air of holding.
Was it on?
Yeah, there's your hold. They're going to 10 yards.
Well, it's going to be half the distance.
Half the distance from the previous spot.
So that'll bring
New rule this year for those folks out there that are wondering that the Federation has finally gotten in line a little bit with the NCAA on that.
So they'll take it back to the 4-yard line. So it's about a 3.5-yard penalty. Well, the 5th penalty on the Cougars tonight. 5 penalties for 48 yards, but so far it has not cost them. But penalties will catch up to you eventually, so you don't want them. So Darrensburg now 1st and 13, rolls back in the end zone, looking to pass, going to Davis. This time Davis holds on to make the catch. He was bobbling, falling out of bounds, but he got possession of it before he went out of bounds at about the 13, so it's going to be about a 10-yard gain.
Nice body control. Watch him actually get both feet in before he falls out of bounds, right? Very nicely done.
And we've got an injured ref. We have an injured official down on the field.
Keep running the game, man.
Oh, my goodness. Somebody must have ran into him by accident.
Running the game.
He is.
Oh, looks like he's getting up.
Yeah, he's getting up. He might have accidentally gotten clocked on the pursuit of that. No, he's pointing at his head, so it looks like he got, maybe it was a collision with a helmet.
I think, isn't there some like hazard pay out there for that? I mean, right?
I mean,
you get clocked, that's like $20 extra.
Yeah.
Something along that poor guy.
Well, you would expect it to be the umpire. He's the one down there in the trenches.
Right.
This is the line. This is the back. The back judge who.
This. And look, these look. I will say those officials took enough of my abuse over 34 years, right? But I tell you what, they do a great job. This is the Baton Rouge Association here tonight. These guys do it for the love of the game and the love of what it's doing for the kids.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Darrensburg's going to keep it himself. He's going to slide. He's got the first down.
Who told him to do that?
So,
We don't do that.
So he's got from the 17. He is going to be marked down. I'm sorry, not the 17. From the 13, he's going to be marked down at the 20. That's going to be a 7-yard gain, but we've got a timeout for the moment on the near side of the field.
Well, something's going on out there with one of the players. Looks like Big Henry Frazier was having a conversation about something going on out there, some extracurricular activity possibly. He's pleading his case to the coach. The coach is pleading his case to him, and the coach is going to win.
Yeah, coach is always going to win.
Yeah. But, yeah, that looked like zone read. The ball was disconnected, and he took the ball and took off right and slid into second base.
So 1st down and 10 at the 20 for the Cougars now. 6:43 to play in the second quarter. 13-0. Kennedy leads. Darrensburg snap, fakes the handoff to Brown. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to get a nice block on the edge. He's out past the 25 and out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
Yeah, there's your zone read again. Darrensburg is a nice athlete, right? He can run the ball. He can throw the ball.
Yep.
He's out there on the field before the game looking at him. He's a big young man. He's put together well. He's only a junior. I've got to think he's going to have a future after he gets done here at John F. Kennedy High School.
Yeah, going to have a few people looking at him. So 2nd down and 3. Darrensburg in shotgun. He'll take the snap. This time he's going to throw it out to Evans, who's got a block on the edge. He's got the first down. He's going to be out of bounds around the 34. So that'll be a 7-yard pickup and another first down.
Yeah, weapons all over the field. Matt, I mean, you look right, they've got weapons. You look left, they got weapons. They got weapons in the backfield. Look at the speed right here. Quick move.
Yeah, just beat Ross to the edge.
Yeah, beat Ross to the edge. Quick move on Ross and gets vertical down the sideline.
So up to the 34-yard line. First down. Motion, fakes the handoff. It's going to be Brown. And look at that hole. He's got to go again. He kind of hurdles over a defender's tackle, but they got just enough of him to bring him down at the Terrier 47-yard line. So from the 37 to the 47, that's a 16-yard pickup. I mean, every time Brown touches the ball, it is massive yards. 4 carries, 99 yards so far. First down and 10 at the Terrier 46. And this is the drive the Cougars are hoping for here as the second quarter ticks down towards halftime. Derringsburg takes the snap. We've got a flag. This is going to be a false start, so that'll back them up 5 yards. So that'll put them back on their own side of the field at the 49.
Yeah, they saw the blitz coming, and they just got out of their stance a little bit too quick. Offensive line leaning back. They're going to call that a false start. Watch up front. They'll show blitz here in a moment.
Yep.
And you'll get these guys leaning back a little bit.
Yeah, there it is, right tackle.
There it is, and there's the lean right there. So, yeah, I mean, the blitz does a couple things. Number one, it's designed to put pressure on the quarterback, but the other thing blitzes do is it gets everybody going real fast because they want to be able to get out of their stance to be able to protect, right?
Yep. So, first down and 15 now from their own 47. Derringsburg back in shotgun. Takes the snap, rolls back looking to pass. Pressure, he gets rid of it, but it's going to be incomplete. And this is going to be a flag probably for roughing the passer. On number 1, Jacob Fairchild. He got to him and wrapped him up and brought him down. And it's probably going to be the way that he brought him down that brings on this penalty. And this will be the first one of the night against the Terriers.
Yeah, he could have held off of that. He got there after he jostled him and bumped him. He didn't have to apply the extracurricular after that, right? So That's going to be in any league, that's going to be a penalty.
So big break there for the Cougars. That is going to bring it all the way across midfield and out to the Terrier 38-yard line. Just barely enough for a first down.
That's a killer.
Yeah, so I'll get to the 37, actually. So that's a major penalty there. After they had him at 1st and 15, they give him 15 yards back on the unnecessary roughing the passer. And so the Cougars now in Terrier territory at the 37-yard line.
You know, as aggressive as you are as a football player, you got to know when not to be over-aggressive.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Derringsburg fakes the handoff to Brown, looking across the middle. He's got it. That is Evans. He breaks a tackle. He cuts it back inside across the field down to the 10. And he is tackled at about the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Evans, they throw the slant. Watch him break 3 tackles. Here we go. 1. 2, and here comes the 3rd right there. He broke his ankles. I'll tell you what, these guys have some moves. They have nice athletic ability.
Well, that's a 28-yard pass and pickup for James Evans. So Derringsburg with a nice night so far, 9 of 16, 103 yards. Evans, 3 catches, 48 yards. So first and goal at the 9, and a lot of broken ankles here so far, Wade. You guys can start. You guys will be able to start a club here in a few more minutes with a couple more people. First and goal at the 9. Got to imagine a handoff to Brown here. No, he's going to try to throw a fade route in the corner, and it is caught. Is it caught? It's caught. That is number 11, Ronald White, with the touchdown pass. 9-yard touchdown pass to Ronald White.
Well, Ronald White goes up for that 50-50 ball and comes down with all of the ball. Right, here we go. Watch him go up and get that thing over the defender, over the top of the defender, took it off the top of the defender's head, and it comes down with the huge touchdown. Kennedy kind of just put a spike for this half into Vandebilt Catholic.
That was exactly what the Terriers did not need. Kick is up, and it is good. And so that will make it 20-0 in favor of the John F. Kennedy Cougars, the Fighting Roe Browns, as we so eloquently called them during our pregame. And I tell you what, not only did the Cougars march down the field, 93 yards for the touchdown there, Wade, they only burned off 2 minutes and 3 seconds. So this is scary if you're Vandebilt, because now you get the ball back. You have struggled to move the ball on them. If you can't put something together and get points, and you have to give them the ball back with you have 3 minutes or so on the clock, you're looking at the chance they could get another score here, which a 93-yard drive is tough enough from a momentum standpoint, but to look at the possibility of another touchdown, another scoring drive before halftime, boy, that would just be absolutely brutal.
Well, it's demoralizing when somebody goes 93 yards on you in that amount of time, and then they out-jump you in the end zone for the touchdown. But let's remember, right in the middle of that drive, they were in a nice situation where they had them at midfield, but then it cost you a 15-yard personal foul on roughing the quarterback. You've got to learn when to hold them. You've got to learn when to fold them, right?
That's right. Kick bounces and picked up by, that's Jalen Coleman. He's going to get it up to about the 26-yard line.
You know, there's a lot of things that go into drives like that, right? And when you have a penalty, when you're trying to play your tail off, it just can be demoralizing for your football team.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line, 4:58 to play in the second quarter.
You know, Vandebilt needs to answer. They need to get something, get a little momentum going so that they can go in at halftime feeling a little bit better about themselves, and they can come out the second half and try to make some adjustments.
Another direct snap to Coleman. He faked the handoff to his receiver who was coming in motion. He kept it himself, and he's going to pick up about a yard. Just too much penetration up front by the Cougars for that type of play to have any success.
Yeah, you know, Coleman's a war horse now. You know, he's going to take a licking and keep ticking. But he needs to get some help from those guys up front who need to be able to put a body on a yellow jersey.
2nd down and 9 for the Cougars. For the Terriers. And it's Coleman again. He takes the direct snap. This time he's got a hole, and there he goes. And he is going to take it to the house. No flags on the field. And how about that, Wade? I mean, prove me wrong after I said that play just isn't going to work. He said, watch me.
Well, watch Kennedy sell out right here. Everybody sells out on a blitz. They're in man coverage. He splits the linebackers, splits the safety, and he's off to the races. We said Jalen Coleman has a little giddy up, right? You just saw his giddy up right there. And when you catch the defense in the right front with a blitz on and you block it correctly, you have a chance to go yard, and that's exactly what Jalen Coleman did.
He did. That was a really, really nice display of blocking. The extra point is blocked. We talked about the penetration. Well, they got plenty of it there on the extra point. I mean, he almost could have just caught the ball. They were in the backfield so fast he could have caught the ball as soon as it came off the kicker's foot and run it back. I mean, watch this. There's at least 2 guys.
I think that's Calvin Sparrow, number 7. He's going to come right through the B gap. Bang. This is week 12. Right? You can't have penetration in the A and the B gap on a PAT. You can't have that, right? That's a faux pas, that's a miss, that's an assignment issue right there.
And so we've got a brief moment. We'll tell you our second quarter sponsor. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com or call 833-233-7181. So Ramirez set to kick. That was the touchdown that the Terriers needed. But, boy, there's a lot of time left on the clock, Wade.
All right. It gives them a boost, right?
It does.
It lets them know that they can do something here. Now they got to try to get a 3-and-out.
Short kick that was fielded about the 16. Very nice return here by James Evans. We've got some extracurricular happening after the play. 2 players going at it, and we've got a Kennedy player down on the ground, and here comes the flag. Now, that is going to be a penalty on number 22. That was Carter Birdsall for Vandebilt, who was going at it with Bernard Causey. after that play. So the return was up to the 44. This is going to be 15 yards added on to it for that extracurricular. And just like that, JFK is going to have the ball in Terrier territory to start this drive. That's about as bad of a outcome as you could have had on that kickoff.
That's 2 personal fouls, 2 unsportsmanlikes right there that have taken place within the matter of a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, right, which are extremely costly. Great block and great play to get right back onto the scoreboard, right, by Vandebilt, and then you turn around and have a play like that on a kickoff.
I mean, after having no penalties for the first quarter, they've had 2 very costly ones here within the span of 2.5 minutes with the personal foul and unsportsmanlike. So that'll give JFK the ball at the 41-yard line of Vandebilt with 3:55 to play in the second quarter. Snap to Darrensburg. He's going to hand it off to Chelsea. He's got a hole up the middle. He jukes the defender, breaks free from the tackle, and he is down inside the 15. Very nice run there by Kenneth Chelsea.
Immediately.
He's got a little giddy up, too. Look at that nice little jump cut in the backfield, and then he splits everything down the center right there, and he won't go down with just the first hit.
And he's going to get it down to the 13, looking a lot like you when they say dinner's ready at the Thanksgiving table, Wade.
Well, you're darn right.
Down to the 13, 28-yard pickup.
You're darn right. I come running.
Not this year, though, not with that ankle. First and 10 at the 13, Darrensburg back. In shotgun, he's going to take the snap, looking to throw. He's got a receiver out there. He catches it. The defender runs too far past him, and that is a touchdown for James Evans. A 13-yard touchdown pass to Evans.
So just like that, right? They're back on the board.
Yep.
Well, first of all, you got to be able to come to balance to make a tackle, right? Right there, Josh Johnson, again, just doesn't come to balance. It's a missed tackle by a Vandebilt defender. We have seen a ton of that tonight from the Terriers. Guys just not making tackles, especially in the secondary.
So the extra point attempt now by Lalin. And the kick is no good, so that'll make it 26-6 with 3:09 to play in the second quarter. And I'd be remiss if I didn't to mention that the touchdown by the Terriers on the 73-yard run by Jalen Coleman ended JFK's 21-quarter shutout streak there. So
that is correct.
They have now given up 40 points on the season, a whopping 40 points, and all the way to week 12.
There you go. Yeah. Well, they're very, very sound defensively with great athletes playing on that side of the ball, and and that's what I was saying. Vandebilt does a nice job there, popping that play, blocked it well, caught him in the right defense with a blitz. They get on the board, and then they have another personal foul. Those are things you just can't do. Yep. Those are momentum killers.
Yep.
And that's got to get addressed. I mean, even though you're in week 12, you're still teaching, right? You're teaching players. That's what coaches do. They're teachers. They've got to continue to teach even though you're in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. You just can't assume that players know those sort of things. You've got to go in and flip a table and say something about that.
Yep. And Darrensburg, a very nice first half so far. 11 of 18, 125 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah. Well,
I think just about any coach would take that line from their quarterback. So Lynn set to kick it off, and he'll kind of pooch it up. It's going to be taken in at about the 20. Takes that across the field as Jari Coleman breaks one tackle, gets hit up by another, and he's brought down at about the 24-yard line.
I'll tell you who I've been impressed with tonight on Kennedy's defense, and he does a nice job here on the special teams, is number 7, Calvin Sparrow. He fights off a block right here and then makes a tackle on a special team coverage. He's made a couple huge plays tonight defensively for the Cougars. He is a nice-looking football player and only a junior. I think he'll have a chance to play somewhere in his future, too.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 25. They'll give Coleman progress up to the 25-yard line. And now we've got the referees blowing the whistle. And one of the back judges going to talk to number 22. That's Carter Birdsall. And now we're going to have a false start. Boy, we had several players moving. Number 9, John Wade, a good 3 yards in the backfield before anybody even, or 3 yards into the defense before anybody even moved. So that'll be a 5-yard false start penalty. And now it'll be 1st and 15.
Well, you had half the offensive line move. The ball didn't get snapped, so one side was on count, the other side was off a count, right? Then they got finished, and they all were looking at each other like, well, who was right?
And so Jalen Coleman, back in the Wildcat formation. It worked so well last time. I mean, why not go back to it? So he'll take the snap, and he's looking for a block up the middle. Just nothing there. That time they gobbled it up. You can see he was just trying to read his blocking, and Kennedy just bottled it up right at the line, gave him nowhere to go. That'll be a pickup of 1.
Yeah, again, great penetration in the backfield by the Kennedy defense. Coming off of the backside end was another defender, and I believe that was number 20, Nicholas Thomas, coming from his left end position, coming off the edge.
So 2nd and a long 14. Really more like a half yard, but we'll call it a yard. Coleman still back there under center, and Wildcat looking to cut it back midfield. He does. Decent pickup, but you need a little bit more than that on 2nd and 14. Unfortunately, it's going to be a gain of 3. That'll bring up 3rd and 11 with 2:10 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Vandebilt better be careful here, right?
Yep.
I mean, Kennedy, I believe, has 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken. They might have used one right there. And, they get the ball back with decent field position. They can all of a sudden stick another one in on you real quick. They did it in 2 plays last time, right?
Yep,
so
they did.
Here we go, right? This is like a NASCAR. These guys, you can go from 0 to 150 in a matter of seconds.
Yep, absolutely. So Vandebilt, the switch here late in the second quarter going to the Wildcat. They had to create some kind of spark, and it certainly worked the first time. But, you have to wonder with the way that Kennedy has bottled up the line there. The 73-yard, breakout for the touchdown certainly appears to be more of an outlier than what the norm is going to be. So you got to imagine Vanderbilt's going to have to go and find some success throwing the football here. Babin's back in the game, so they may very well be about to attempt that. They're just simply not going to run it on them. They're too good. So 3rd and 11, Babin takes the snap, rolls back looking to pass under pressure, and he is hit by a couple of people, and he's going to be slung down finally by number 9. That is Hurley McDonald. He gets hit in the backfield, bounced off of that initial hit, and then McDonald wrapped him up and kind of spun him around. And thankfully, he didn't sling him any harder than that. That could have been borderline into the roughing or unnecessary roughness arena, but it goes down as a sack, and now they've got 4th down and deep in their own territory, and they're going to have to punt it. Now you're really looking at a bad scenario if you're the Terriers. You're going to punt it away, and Kennedy's more than likely going to get the ball around midfield at worst.
Where the time? No, I think they're done with their timeouts, if I'm not mistaken. Did they just use another one just now? I think they did, so now they're out of timeouts, but that doesn't matter. Those guys can go vertical real quick.
So from the 24 back to the 15, that was a 9-yard loss. Gets the punt off. It bounces straight in the air, rolls, takes a Terrier roll. It's going to get across midfield. It's going to cross the 45. It's going to go to the 44, but still a very good field position for the Cougars here.
Man, I'm going to tell you, they're lucky they got that punt off.
Yeah, you're exactly
Watch
right.
Coming off of Vandebilt's left edge right there. I think he sticks his hands out. He might have batted that thing down.
So, 1 minute, 38 seconds to play in the first half. Kennedy with the ball at their own 44. Looking for a chance here to try to throw a knockout blow before halftime. Vandebilt will receive to start the second half. Darrensburg rolls back looking to pass, trying to go to the near side, and it is incomplete as he was looking for Davis. And they're going to say the ball hit the turf. hit the deck incomplete.
Yeah, ball was just kind of skipped off the turf. Didn't give a chance to get your hands under the ball, so they're going to be incomplete. They'll play second down.
So second down and 10.
I'm really impressed with Darrensburg decision making, right? He's done a nice job going to primary receivers. When they're covered, he goes to his secondary guy.
Yeah. Darrensburg takes the snap, rolling back. Again, looking, he's just going to dump it over the middle to Brown. Brown's immediately met at the line. Very nice job there by Jacob Fairchild of meeting him at the point of catching the ball and not letting go and getting the tackle there.
Yeah, Jacob Fairchild's had a nice night except for that one roughing the quarterback penalty, right? But here's a great play. He sniffs it out, splits the blockers, and makes a nice tackle.
It's going to be a gain of about 2 yards in the end on that, so it's third down and 8.
Yeah, Fairchild's their leading tackler on the season.
And Darrensburg looking to pass. He's got a man wide open underneath in coverage at the 40-yard line. So that's about a 12, 13-yard gain. They mark it down at the 38. That's going to be a 14-yard gain.
That's one of those plays you play in the parking lot, right? Go down to the trash can, stop, and I'm going to give you the ball. Go down to the stick, stop, and I'm going to put the ball right on you. That's the play.
And they're trying to go tempo here, but we've got a stoppage of play. Not sure what's going on. The play clock's not running. Game clock's not running.
.40 clock's not running. Nothing's running. That's strange.
Oh, now here we go. Clock still wasn't running at the snap. He throws a screen across the middle to Evans. And Evans is going to pick up maybe 2 yards. Game clock is not running at all.
Nothing's running.
Nothing is running. Now the game clock's running. We got 1 second runoff. There you go. So two yards on the catch by Evans.
Okay, that whole scenario took 1 second.
There we go. Now we're down to 39 seconds.
Okay,
so
readjusted. There we go.
Readjusted. Play clock should be running. It's on the whistle here. Not that whistle. Unsportsmanlike on the Vandebilt coach. Coach Minton. Boy, I mean, when the penalties come out for Vandebilt, they have gotten their money's worth on them, Wade.
Okay, so let's everybody know this at home. That is on the head coach of Vandebilt. He gets one more. He's sitting in the bus.
So
you only get 2.
Yep.
And if an assistant gets unsportsmanlike, it goes on the head coach. The head coach sitting in the bus.
So that'll move the ball down to the 21 of the Terriers. Darrensburg takes the snap, rolls back, looking to pass under pressure. He's going to evade the tackler. He gets past the 15. We've got a flag. This is a hold. It's coming back. So this will back it up. So this is going to bring it back significantly after a very nice run by Darrensburg there.
All right, they're going to bring that back. Vanderbilt coach is still working on the officials on the boundary. See if we can see our hold. There it is, right there maybe. Number 72, Kylie Green. You know, it's when you get your name called on a penalty, it's a shame that the offensive line gets spotlighted there, right? But I tell you what, I will say those guys up front for John F. Kennedy have done a great job this whole first half, opening up holes on running plays for Brown, doing a great job on protection for Darrensburg. Those guys as a unit are well coached.
So backs the ball up to the 31. Darrensburg takes the snap. He's wanting to go into the end zone. Look, and he's got a man wide open for the touchdown. That's James Evans. I mean, he was wide open, just in his own world there in the end zone for a 31-yard touchdown pass. Darrensburg's 4th of the quarter.
Yep, 3 vertical. Nobody decides to cover the number 2 vertical down here to the bottom of your screen from the slot position, which was James Evans. And at the end of the play, the guys in the white jerseys are looking around saying, who's got that guy? You can't do that. Nice throw and catch. How quickly, again, can the Cougars get on the board, right?
Can they score with 1 second to play in the quarter? Extra point is good, so that is going to make it 33-6, 1 second to play in the quarter. Absolutely the worst scenario that could have happened for Vandebilt after they break free on the Jalen Coleman 73-yard touchdown run. Kennedy answers that with 2 touchdowns of their own to stretch this out to a 27-point lead. Almost certainly the lead going to be going in at halftime. But the penalties have killed them. I mean, big penalties have given the Cougars chunks of yards when they've been called against the Terriers.
And when you say chunks, you're talking huge chunks. They've all been 15-yard variety, correct?
Yes.
And that no time is right, but they're in untimely fashion. You make a great play, and then all of a sudden you got a 15-yarder. You make another good play, and all of a sudden you got a 15-yarder. That's got to get addressed and cleaned up.
Yep. So Kennedy will have to kick it off here. Don't really know if there's any reason to kick it deep. Just squib kick it, make somebody pick it up and run that 1 second off. Don't even give them a chance at a return. But they're feeling it. Maybe they kick it deep. Yep, he does just that. Squibs it right up the middle. It's going to be fielded by number 23. That is Cole St. Pierre, and he is brought down immediately, and that will get us to halftime. A very, very impressive first half by the Kennedy Cougars. John F. Kennedy Cougars 33, Vandebilt Catholic Terriers 6. Got to catch our breath after that, Wade.
No doubt. No doubt about it, right? I mean, like I said, it's like NASCAR. Those guys, talking about John F. Kennedy, can go from 0 to 150 miles per hour in a matter of seconds, right? And you blink, all of a sudden they're in the end zone.
So, take a quick look here at stats for the two teams. John F. Kennedy, Amani Darrensburg, 15 of 23 for 174 yards and 4 touchdowns. Just a monster first half for Darrensburg. Rushing, Omarion Brown leading the way, 4 rushes, 99 yards, including the 46-yard touchdown. Kenneth Chelsea, 3 carries for 20 yards. And Amani Darrensburg, 3 rushes for 7 yards himself. And then on the receiving end of it, I mean, everybody has gotten in on the action. James Evans has been the primary recipient of it. 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Joey Davis, 2 catches for 20 yards. Jonathan Strouder, 2 catches for 5. Kingston Jones, 1 catch for 13. Omarion Brown, 2 catches for 19. Ronald White, 1 catch for 9 yards, and that was a touchdown. And Kingston Jones's 13-yarder was also a touchdown, and actually Ronald White's got 2 catches for 23. So Darrensburg doing a very nice job of spreading it around the field when he's putting it in the air.
Yeah, keyword spreading it around the field. They have so many good athletes. You want to try to get the ball in all of your guys' hands, and he does a nice job doing that. Also, great job play calling by the offensive staff of Kennedy, making sure that ball gets a chance to get spreaded around the field.
And also Jonathan Strouder had 1 carry for 16 yards as well very early on. Can't forget him. So team stats, 11 rushes for 142 yards for the Kennedy Cougars. 7 penalties for 63 yards. Again, need to clean it up, but so far none of those have come back to really catch them.
Well, that's the thing. They don't have to operate inside the sticks,
yep.
Right? They can operate from outside the sticks, from behind the sticks, because they can get chunks in minutes. And I've always been envious of that, right? I've coached some great offenses, and I coached some great offensive players, quarterbacks and running backs, but we were always the type of teams that had to be inside the sticks and stick to the game plan. When we were looking at 2nd and 15 or 2nd and 20, we just couldn't get that back in 2 plays or 1 play, right? And John F. Kennedy can. So they don't worry about whether or not, they're on schedule or anything. They worry about going in one direction only, and that's towards that end zone.
Vandebilt Catholic, looking at their first half stats, Jalen Coleman by far carrying the team, 16 carries for 106 yards, including the 73-yard touchdown. But you take the 73-yard touchdown out, he's got 15 carries for 33 yards. They've really done a nice job, save for that one play, of really shutting him down.
Right, and he pops that thing. Perfect call by the Vandebilt offense at that time. But other than that, he's had a hard time making yardage, and that's a lot of the reason being is because that defensive line and defensive front of Kennedy is living in the backfield of Vandebilt.
And Brent Babin also with 3 rushes for 19 yards, ran Robert Sandoff 1 carry for 1 yard. And then the glaring stat in the first half, Brent Babin 0 of 7 passing with 1 interception. I mean, they haven't completed a pass. They're absolutely got to get the passing game going in the second half.
And that's going to be kind of tough. Brent Babin has struggled all year, 38 of 60 attempts, which is only 631 yards, right? And so when you're coming in with that small amount of production, you're just not going to be able to turn it on all in one particular shot.
No. And penalties, 4 penalties for 50 yards. And so, as we said, getting them in chunks. 1 false start penalty, and then the 3 big ones. Personal foul, roughing the passer, unsportsmanlike penalty on the kick return, and then to top it off, the unsportsmanlike on the head coach on the sideline. And all 3 of those led to Kennedy scores.
Yep, that's ouch.
So, not good. Not good for what you're wanting to do, and the hole that you've now dug yourselves for the second half. So, with that being said, let's see if we can take a look at some updated scores. So you're rolling through the Crescent City Sports scoreboard there, giving me some bad news on my alma mater, so I appreciate you pointing that out.
You
Wade.
saw that, right?
I appreciate that very, very much. So first of all, let's take a look. Let's look at Division II, and we can talk about the Division II playoff bracket here as well, Wade, while we're at halftime. We didn't really get into it too much. As I mentioned, the winner of this game will play the winner of Archbishop Shaw and Evangel Christian. That game at halftime is Evangel 13, Shaw 10. So if Evangel wins that game, the winner of this game travels to Shreveport next week. If Shaw wins, then the winner of this game will host Shaw. So doesn't matter who it is, that's how it's going to work out with the way the brackets are. Also in the top half of that bracket, you've got first seed St. Thomas More, who was up 7-0 on Estruma in the first quarter, and then you've also got St. Michael the Archangel and Livingston Collegiate. So, St. Thomas More clearly defending state champion. I mean, they're going to be tough to knock out on that, on that side. But the type of offense we're seeing here from John F. Kennedy, I mean, that's a they've got an offense they could certainly run with them.
Well, I think in Division II, a lot of people don't know a lot about John F. Kennedy, right? So not knowing a lot about somebody, can do a lot of harm. And just from that standpoint, being a New Orleans-based school, around the state, a lot of people aren't covering that.
Right.
And they're kind of I think they're kind of that, I guess you would say, cougar that's hiding out, right? Nobody knows much about them, and all of a sudden you throw that film on because you've got John F. Kennedy. You see scores, then you put that film on and you look at these guys play, you say, whoa, we better strap this on.
Yep. Bottom half of the Division II bracket, Lafayette Christian taking on Peabody tonight. Lafayette Christian was leading 15-0 in the first quarter. You got McDonough 35, who made the trip to Southwest Louisiana to play St. Louis Catholic, the Saints. That game being played at Sulphur High School, and at halftime, McDonough 35 up 27-7. So very impressive game there for McDonough 35, and they would get to host the quarterfinal game regardless of who wins from Lafayette Christian and Peabody. So McDonough 35 could be looking at a home game for Turkey Week. And then the last two matchups at the bottom of the bracket, you've got Turlings Catholic and Madison Prep, with Turlings Catholic leading 17-14 in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, De La Salle and Edie White. And this one is a good one. In the third quarter, Edie White leading De La Salle 10-7. So De La Salle hanging tough against the undefeated Cardinal there.
Well, De La Salle has played a monstrous schedule, right? Monstrous, right? And they've taken their licking and stayed relatively healthy. And as they got into the district and now in the playoffs, it's coming to fruition, right? But they're taking on a very good football team in Edie White. Edie White's well coached. Edie White is very deep, right? Yep. And of course, De La Salle on the road, correct?
Yes.
And that's a good football game. 10-7, Edie White, as you said.
Yeah. So, if De La Salle were to win that game, then if Turlings Catholic won, De La Salle would host them in the quarterfinals. But if Madison Prep were to win that, De La Salle would travel for the second week in the row and make the trip up to Baton Rouge to take on the Madison Prep Chargers. So that's our look at the Division II playoff bracket. We'll run through some other New Orleans scores here for other divisions, select and non-select. So just across the interstate from here, Wade, Holy Cross and Jesuit, the rematch, and it's going about like it went the first time around. Third quarter, Holy Cross 21, Jesuit nothing.
Yeah, Holy Cross having an outstanding year. Second time meeting Jesuit. One of the oldest rivalries in the state. People from Homer and Haynesville say theirs is the oldest. The people down here say Holy Cross. Jesuit is the oldest. I kind of side with the Jesuit and Holy Cross because I'm from down here, and I played in that and coached in that a ton of times, right? I know you're from North Louisiana. You'll probably
I feel the other way about it, yeah.
Definitely. So, but anyway, you look at it, Holy Cross is having a great year. Jesuit hanging tough, fighting, struggling all year. Coming off of a big win last week against a good CE Bird team, coming in against Holy Cross for the second time this year. They're not faring too well. 21-0, as you said.
And also on that side of the bracket, in the car, rolling over Woodlawn of Baton Rouge, 29-0. No surprise there. They bounced back from the Curtis defeat 2 weeks ago and looking like the car of old. This one's a bit of a shocker. At halftime at Joe Uni Stadium, Alexandria Senior High 3, Brother Martin nothing.
Yeah, well, Brother Martin seems like it's struggling a little bit offensively right now. Alexandria is maybe playing keep away, right?
And first quarter, Catholic Baton Rouge leading the John Everett Patriots 7-0. Halftime at the Shrine on Airline, John Curtis leading St. Aug 35-22. I know St. Aug has struggled against different teams this year, but whenever they play Curtis, it seems like that is the magic formula for their offense to score points. So you knew points were going to be scored. The problem was they haven't shown they can stop Curtis.
Right.
So that score is about what I expected. So 2-touchdown lead for Curtis at halftime. Third quarter score, Rummel for the second week in a row making the trip to Shreveport, and they lead Captain Shreve 13-3. This is D1 Select bracket. I said this last week at the end of Ken Trahan's original prep report that I expected Rummel to go up there and win that game because I know Captain Shreve is the 2 seed. They're 9-1. I know they've scored a bunch of points, but these Shreveport teams just do not have a good record against Catholic League schools, and it's just a different brand of football. And I know Rummel has got 100 people injured, and they're playing, their fourth and fifth stringers, kids they pulled out of chemistry class or whatever, but they play a tough brand of football, and I knew that they were going to go up there and play smash mouth, and that's just not the type of football Captain Shreve plays, and I think this score is showing that, and it's proven it.
Nick Monica's going to have his kids ready to play, and they're going to play hard. That's the way the Archbishop Rummel kids are, and they're going to go up there. They're going to make that long trip, and they're going to make sure that they're going to be extremely physical. And I think when you talk about bringing a sense of physicality to the game, that's one thing that the Catholic League does. And having coached in the Catholic League, have played in the Catholic League for a number of years, it seems to be the trademark of all Catholic League teams.
Yep.
And they're going to bring just an era of physicality with them. Not saying that the Shreveport teams can't match up from that, but I think, like you said, they've struggled with those Catholic League teams over the years.
Yep. And St. Paul's leading Tioga, game on the North Shore, 24-14. The Wolves with the lead. Second quarter score, Division I non-select, Walker 7, North Shore nothing. You had to wonder for North Shore. It was such an emotional victory for them last week to go up to West Monroe and win. How could they bounce back and get refocused and have anything left in the emotional tank for week 2? And it looks like they're struggling to get out of the gate against the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you would have to account for, right, as a coach and a coaching staff. And one of the things that you got to do with your teams when you do something like that, you go on the road and you win a big one like they did at West Monroe last week, is the next week for your kids, you got to slow the week down, meaning that it's every rep in practice has got to be just right? The focus on the rep now, the focus on the rep now, the focus on the rep now. And when you focus and you're on the rep now, you're not thinking about what happened last week, and you're truly not thinking about things down the road. Slow the week down.
Also on the North Shore, Vandebilt leading Santa Ma 21-14. Bit of a surpriser here in the second quarter. Destrehan hosting Belle Chase, and the Wildcats only up 10-7. So Belle Chase, after having a pretty high-scoring emotional victory against the Parkway Panthers last week, so far holding the Wildcats tough in Destrehan.
Yeah, I saw I called Belle Chase a few weeks back. I think maybe it was week 5, maybe week 6. Not exactly sure, but I was very impressed with Belle Chase. They do a great job running the football, right? They're very physical up front on the offensive and defensive lines, and I knew they were going to go into Destrehan and be physical with Destrehan, and so far it seems to be working out that way.
Zachary 14, Salmon nothing. First quarter. Second quarter, Dutchtown 21, Chalmette nothing. As we get into some of the smaller schools, Division II non-select, Letcher 21, Abbeville 6. Third quarter, Division III select, St. Charles 43, Ascension Episcopal nothing. No surprise there. Also Newman 28, St. Thomas Aquinas nothing. Again, no surprise there. Halftime in Vacherie, we won't talk about it. St. James leading North Webster 28-6. Third quarter, Manny leading South Plaquemines 24-0. Halftime, Riverside 14, Catholic Point Coupé nothing. So, got some interesting games going on here.
Yeah, good football all over the state going on tonight.
And I think this new bracket setup has created this way where we're seeing good games in first round, second round. I mean, sure, we've got our blowouts in different areas. There's no way of avoiding that, but you're not just seeing these matchups in the first, second round where everything is just, an absolute barn burner.
Well, it's as close as it's going to be to what it used to be. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
We'll never see the way it used to be, right? I mean, we'll never see one unified. I don't think we'll ever see that. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the LHSA in the January meeting. There's supposed to be something put on the table through the classifications. That's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But if I was a betting man right now in Vegas, I don't think we're ever going to get out of this select, non-select stuff, and we're going to have these divisions in our playoff system. But I'd like what happened with coming out of the last issue, getting back to where it started last year, where the definition of select has changed to where we can fill out these brackets and not have all of these multiple buys, and it brings a little bit more respectability back to the playoff brackets at all levels.
Yeah.
I've spoken my piece.
You've spoken your piece. So we got about 2 minutes to go before kickoff to start the second half here. So we'll bring it back to this one. Talk about keys here to the second half. Obviously, for Kennedy, it's just keep doing what you're doing because they really haven't stopped it, And Darrensburg having himself an absolute night, 174 yards passing. I would expect strategy should be changed. Absolutely nothing on offense. If anything else, maybe give the ball to Amarian Brown a little bit more often. Let him pound away at them to run the clock some. He's got 4 carries for 99 yards. I mean,
that's not in their DNA.
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
Demarion Brown's going to get his touches. So is Chelsea. But however, their DNA is to put the pedal to the metal and put the gas down, and let's keep rolling. Right? They're going to try to press every ounce of gas they can out of that gas tank, and they're going to push every button they have in that spaceship, and they're going to try to go as fast as they possibly can and as far as they possibly can go.
For the Terriers, though, they've got to figure out a way to get the air attack going. I mean,
well, they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit if they can, and somehow, some way, they needed to make some adjustments up front to be able to block a little bit better on the run game, right?
Yep.
And then they got to stay away from the costly personal foul and unsportsmanlike penalties.
Maybe trying to figure out a way to use that aggressive Cougar defense against them with some shovel passes, some screens. I mean, we've seen Babin roll back and try to throw it into some one-on-one coverages. He just doesn't have a whole lot of time to do drop-back passes.
We haven't seen any more zone read. We've seen it once, maybe twice in the first half, early in the first half. Haven't seen any more. Like to see a little bit more of that, right? Because now that slows down those crashing defensive ends out of that 4-2-5 front of the Cougars.
All right, so Kennedy set to kick it off. Nahum Lalin set. He'll kick it off, and this is going to go to Jari Coleman. He's going to carry it across the field, tries to cut back up the middle. He's going to be tackled around the 25.
It would go a long way. Vandebilt put together a nice little drive, stick it in for some points, even if it's a field goal, something to come off that they can move the ball here, coming out at halftime with any adjustments that they made to get a little momentum back into their giddy-up, right?
Yep. So Babin will come out. Jalen Coleman in the backfield. One receiver each side of the field.
They don't have the chains set up. They got to get the chains set up. That would always help.
I suppose it would. Got to go find everybody who took a halftime break. Tell them, hey, we got another half to go here. And we're ready to go. Handoff, and nothing for Coleman there.
Yeah.
Just
again,
all over him again.
Yeah, again, yellow jerseys everywhere, right? I mean, nothing changes from the first half. Those guys pursue really, really well, right? They get off of blocks. They run well to the football. And then when they get there, they do a great job tackling. I've been very impressed with the defensive pursuit and tackling of the Cougars tonight.
So it's going to be no gain on the play. Now we've got a stoppage. Not sure what this is for.
They had a cornerback, couldn't tell the number. He doesn't have his jersey all the way down, so they told him to pull down the jersey.
Babin will take the snap, looking to pass. He's trying to go on a wheel route, and it goes through the hands of number 80, James Guidry.
You know, Guidry had a chance at that. He needed to go up and fight for that ball a little bit more, right?
Yep.
He had the height advantage. He was on top of the defender, man coverage right there. Go up and get that thing. They're letting you play with your hands. They're getting, they're letting you separate a little bit. Let's go get that thing. Let's be a little bit more aggressive. I like the call.
Yeah. And it's a good throw.
Yeah, good throw. Go get that ball. You got to go up and snag that. Those are plays you've got to make. Big-time players make big-time plays, right? And that was one he needed to make.
And we've got a false start here as Hurley McDonald was a little bit too anxious to get in the backfield there, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Cougars, and that'll make this a little bit more manageable now from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5. As Babin still looks for his first completion of the game. So they'll move the ball up to the 30-yard line now. And now we've got another penalty, another offside, so they're going to gift them a first down here.
Take it any way you can get it.
I mean,
right?
How about that? So that was a fortunate break for the Terriers, very unfortunate break for the Cougars, as that'll move it up to the 35, and it is a first down for the Terriers. So gifted them a first down and a little bit of life here on their first offensive drive of the second half. Babbitt under center. Coleman behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, keep it himself, try to get to the edge, cut back inside. Nice open field tackle by 21, Richard Careby. And that's going to be a gain of 2 for Babin up to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Careby does a nice job again in the open field, right? Watch this. Whack. Nicely done. Makes the tackle to trip up Babin.
That was a very nice job. If Babin can get by him, he's got a little bit of room there to run upfield, possibly get a first down. As it is, it'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 37. Babin with the snap, rolling back, looking to throw. 4 receivers. He's coming near side of the field, just puts way too much air underneath that, intended for Scott Adele. And that'll be incomplete. And Brent now 0 for 9, unfortunately, to start the game passing. And now it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, a little too much muscle, a little too high. Adele running the out route, well covered. Didn't even have a chance at the football.
A little bit of tempo here to get it lined up. And now they're going to look back, wait for the play call coming in. 3rd down and 8. Three receivers set. Babin takes the snap, looking to throw. He's going far side of the field. He's got his man there. Is he going to go up and get it? And it's Guidry again, and it's out of bounds. I don't know if that one was catchable. He tried to put it back up for him, but way too far. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, way off target, way out of bounds. Didn't even give the receiver a chance to come back to the football. Something like that, when you see the safety coming across the top and you see the corner in phase with your receiver, you want to try to think about giving him a chance to catch the football. What do? You come to the back shoulder, right? You want to give him an opportunity to make a play on the ball for your offense.
Pretty looking pass, but just too much on it, so Ramirez with the punt actually falls down after he kicks it, hits, and takes the Terrier bounce out of bounds inside the 35, and the Cougars will start in pretty good territory here. So got to be careful on that rugby punt. It can get a little bit slick there as Ramirez hits the deck as he punted that one away.
I thought he was flopping maybe. I didn't know exactly what that was. Looked like a guy in a soccer game, right?
Yeah. So that'll give the Cougars the ball, their first offensive drive of the second half. They'll have it at the 33-yard line with 10 minutes, 13 seconds to play in the third quarter. So coming out, 4 wide receivers, 2 far side, 2 near side. Chelsea in the backfield. Motion, Darrensburg takes the snap. It's a handoff to Chelsea. He bounces it outside, cuts it back inside. He's got a nice gain, almost a horse collar there on, I think that was number 45, Xavier Moses. But as it is, that's going to be a 7-yard pickup up to the 40 for Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea is the other combination in the backfield for the Cougars. He's got a nice little zig and zag with him. So you put Chelsea and Brown back there at the same time.
And we've got a timeout for Kennedy. So with this timeout, we'll talk about tonight's third quarter sponsor, Thibodaux Regional. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Thibodaux Regional Sports Medicine Center, offering a comprehensive program with a team of certified athletic trainers, fellowshipped trained sports medicine physicians, and orthopedic sports medicine trained physical therapists to effectively manage injuries and safely return athletes to the games they love. Visit Thibodaux.com to learn more. So Kennedy burns an early timeout here to start the third quarter.
Right here.
And they'll regroup here on 2nd down and 3.
Thank you, Miss Tyler.
Matt Sims alongside Wade Kaiser bringing you tonight's action
2nd down.
from Pan Am Stadium in New Orleans City Park. Derensburg takes a snap, hands it off. Chelsea breaking through, dragging a defender. He's going to drag him up to the 50.
It's up to 1st down.
I mean, it was number 55. That was Andrew Sanji who got a hold of him and then went for a ride.
They've been running this same counter all night to Vandebilt's right side.
Look at this. We're going
Kennedy,
1,
right.
2.
Yeah.
It's like the tilt-a-whirl.
Well, and the yardage they've made off of that one play all night,
Yeah.
Vandebilt has no answer to the counter.
So 10-yard pickup gets it up to the 50. So far coming out, 3 straight runs to start the second half. It's a read option. Derensburg's going to keep it this time instead of giving it to Brown. He's at the 35, 30, and 25. And that'll be about a 25-yard pickup there. He'll get down to the 25-yard line. Derensburg's biggest run of the night.
Yeah, that's all Derensburg. Watch him ride.
And,
And then he's reading the last guy right there, and there's nobody there, and then he's off to the races, right?
And I was going to say, he really could have given it to Brown. Either one of them seemed to have the entire edge. Derensburg just said, no, you know what, I'm going to get this glory.
Right.
So that'll set up first and 10 at the 25 now for the Cougars. This time he will hand it off to Brown, who bruises his way forward, and he's going to get stopped. That'll be his worst run of the night. First time he's been stopped for no gain.
Jacob Fairchild did a nice job on that counter. That's the counter play that they've been ripping off all night. Jacob Fairchild comes underneath the block and makes a nice play.
So it'll actually be a loss of 1, so that kills Brown's average now. He goes from 25 yards per carry down to just under 20. And it'll be 2nd and 11 at the 26. Update on the score now. Third quarter, Archbishop Shaw 17, Evangel 13. So not surprised it's a tight game. A little bit surprised that the score is that low. 2nd down and 11 from the 26. Derensburg takes the snap, rolling back to pass. Looking to pass, thinking about it. Now he's getting flushed out of the pocket. He's going to put it up, and it is almost intercepted by number 45, Xavier Moses. And it almost looked to me like he had it and just decided not to catch it, like he thought he'd be in trouble if he caught it. Am I incorrect with it? It looked like it went right into his hands.
Yeah, he had a shot. Look at him go up. Ooh, my goodness. He only put one hand up.
Okay, one hand.
Needed to put both hands up to get that football, right?
Well, that'll bring up 3rd and 11. What is certainly 4-down territory for the Cougars. Derensburg, snap hits the ground. He picks it up, hands it off to Brown. Brown gets to the edge, but he's going to find a way to get positive yards with it. They had him back for what looked like maybe a 3-4 yard loss, but his speed allowed him to get to the edge and make positive yards out of that. So he'll go from the 26 down to the 22. So that'll be a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 4th down and 7 now.
Yeah, just when you thought you have him, you don't, right? All of a sudden, he's out there on the edge, and he's going to pick up a few yards, just the amount of yards they need, right? Mm-hmm. So it's going to put them in 4th down, and this is, for them, this is what they call manageable.
Yeah.
Everybody else, no.
So big defensive series here for the Terriers. They need a stop. Cougars looking to keep the drive going or find Pater. Derensburg looking to pass. Now he's just going to keep it himself up the middle. He's got the first down easy. He's going to be tackled. Nice open field tackle, but it was after he had achieved a line to gain. So he goes from the 22 to the 14. That'll be an 8-yard pickup, and that's another first down for the Cougars.
Well, again, manageable, right? Everything's covered. What am I going to do? I'm going to climb up into the pocket, and I see green turf. I'm going to take off and find the sticks and get it.
So 1st and 10 at the 14 now. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the third quarter. And the Cougars now threatening here on their first offensive series of the second half, looking to really blow this game open. Darrensburg takes the snap, rolls back to pass, dumps it off over the middle. It's incomplete. He had a touchdown to Kingston Jones on the screen, and it looked like he just didn't throw the ball, just didn't put enough on it.
Yeah, that was a bad pass. I think that's really the only bad pass I've seen tonight. Everything else, even when he misses, he planned to miss, right? He puts it away so the defender can't get the ball, that sort of thing. That was a bad pass right there. I think he wishes he could get that back. He'll see that tomorrow on film, and he's going to say, oh, my goodness. He completes that. Kennedy's on the board again.
Yeah, I mean, and play was set up so well. I almost wonder if you go back to it, maybe the other side of the field, and give him a second go at it. Trips near side, single receiver, far side of the field. Brown in the backfield. Darrensburg takes the snap, looking to throw. He's going for the fade once again. Touchdown, Cougars. And trying to see that number, he runs all the way out of screen, out of bounds, almost out of the stadium. I think that might have been Evans again. That is his third touchdown of the night, a 14-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah, he runs rail route, right? Yep. Gets on top of the defender. The defender gets lost and turned around, ball's in the air, and that was the easy pitch and catch.
Evans with his third touchdown reception of the night. Darrensburg with his fifth touchdown pass. Having himself
a career night.
Yes, a career night. Extra point is good, and that will stretch the lead out now to 40-6 in favor of the Kennedy Cougars. So we talked about it in the pregame, Wade. The stats don't lie. This team can put up points, and they are doing just that.
Look, and that... in other parts of the state, they don't know about this team. I guarantee it. I mean, they don't know about it. So they're looking at the bracket and they're saying, okay, New Orleans Public School, that's a W, right? We all no. They and then all of a sudden you put the film on and there they are, and boom, they're scoring points like this. They're playing defense like that. They've got a nice little kicking game, right? So all of a sudden, everybody's head starts turning. Making a lot of noise in this Division II bracket.
Yeah, they're going to get some. They're going to get some attention tonight. I mean, I'd even say you probably don't even have to go across the state. There's probably quite a few people in the local area don't know about them, but they're finding out about them tonight.
Correct.
So, Lynn, back to kick it off. And this will be Jari Coleman taking it in, bringing it up the field. Now he cuts back, tries to cut inside, hurdles over defender, still on his feet across the 30. Nice return there. And the Terriers will start just across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Calvin Sparrow on that tackle again. Extremely impressed by number 7. He covers kicks. He plays well on defense.
So they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 32. 6:42 to play in the third quarter. So now you're in desperation mode if you're the Terriers. I mean, got to start putting it up. You got to have yards and chunks. No nickel and diamond at this point.
Well, desperation mode's not good to be in when you're lining up against this defense.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be also in Wildcat formation. Coleman takes the snap and just gets obliterated at the line. That was a loss of 4 for Coleman there, as he just got, the ball went into his hands and he got acquainted with 3 or 4 defenders immediately.
Yeah, Jalen Jones, defensive end, number 30, did a nice job that time getting into the backfield. Going to see a lot of different jerseys, I think, now, especially for the Kennedy Cougars, playing a lot of different kids.
Yeah. It looks like we're still going to have Coleman in the backfield in the Wildcat formation. They got trips receivers on the far side of the field. Does he have any kind of arm? Let him put something up. He's going to take it, try to run up the middle. And he's going to find a way to drag his way forward for 2 yards. But, that's just you need more than that right now, Wade.
Yeah, no doubt. Got to find something different. I just don't know if they have that in their arsenal, right? That isn't a part of their MO. Kennedy
is certainly starting to assert themselves. There's We've got number 13 in there now. Jack Chestnut, the junior, has now come in at quarterback. So change of quarterback. Let's see what this yields. Takes the snap, rolling back, looking to pass under pressure. He's going to have to tuck it and run. He's going to get up to about the 30, maybe the 31, and that is about it. So not much going there for Jack Chestnut. Talk about.
Well, everything covered, and Jack Chestnut takes off right, and then he finds and gets introduced to number 33, which we don't have a 33 on the roster for Kennedy.
That'll be a gain. That'll be no gain on the play as they'll mark it at the 30, and so now Chestnut will have to stay in to punt it. I'm sorry, Justin Ramirez will come in to punt it. Jack Chestnut is their kicker. So that was only the second time he's been on the third time he's been on the field. Chestnut rolling back to punt and almost blocked. I mean, if Jonathan Strouder had wanted to block that, he had it. Takes a nice bounce, picked up. He catches the corner. Evans up to the 50. He has got a lane. He's going to cut it back inside, cuts it back inside some more, and he is going to take it to the house for a touchdown. Are there no flags on the field? So that is a 75-yard punt return, if I am correct. Nope, now there's a flag down.
Yeah, you're going to probably have a block in the back.
Yeah, he picked it up at the 25, ran backwards. So the flag is at the 7. There's unsportsman on Kennedy, so the touchdown will stand. So 75-yard punt return touchdown for James Evans. Boy, just
when it rains, it pours, right? Yeah, but I tell you what, Kennedy is talented. I mean, they are talented. Like I said, they can do it offensively. They can do it defensively, and they have a nice setup special teams-wise.
So it looks like the Terriers are going to elect to take the penalty on the kickoff, as the extra point will be from the normal distance. While in on for the attempt. And the bad snap, they're going to look to just throw it now for 2. Placeholder just looking for something. He throws an interception. Intercepted by number 45, Xavier Moses. But then the play is blown dead. So that will extend the lead now with 3 minutes, 55 seconds to play, 46-6. And I was just about to say, Wade, that the four losses Vandebilt Catholic had on this season were all to very strong and loaded opponents. E.D. White, Lutcher, St. Charles Catholic, and Assumption. And Lutcher's probably the weakest of the 4, which you never would think you'd say, but that's probably the truth this year.
Right.
I have to say, John F. Kennedy has shown themselves to be up at the top of the list, I think, of the toughest teams that the Terriers have played this year. This has been an impressive all-around performance.
Impressive, keyword. Impressive, right? And like I said, I think they're going to make a lot of noise in this Division II bracket. Speed, size, all the things you need to go deep into the bracket.
It's now into the fourth quarter. Archbishop Shaw 17, Evangel 13. So now kicking off from his own 25, while in, he'll put the boot into it. Jari Coleman will take it in at the 25. He's taken to the far side of the field across the 35, the 40, 45. And it'll be brought down about the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. So decent field position. But here comes a late flag. This is going to be against the Terriers, I think, for another late hit or unsportsmanlike conduct. And back to it again. I said when they get them, boy, they get their money's worth.
Well,
let's see on the replay here.
You know, that's got to stop, right? There's no place for these sort of things in the game. There it is right there in the middle of the field.
22 just throwing him to the ground. And I believe Carter Birdsall was the one who got the unsportsmanlike on the first call, so that will be that'll be the end of his night if that's the case. This is a personal foul. Oh, it's going to be on both sides, so this is going to be, offsetting penalty. So there must have been some extracurricular after Birdsall threw him to the ground.
So they'll redo it again.
So in the end, it'll be a push. And we'll do it again.
16.
Over there on the other side of the park here in City Park, Holy Cross has extended their lead 35-0 over Jesuit in the third quarter.
Very impressive.
Another little shocker in the third quarter out in Metairie at Joe Yenny Stadium. Alexandria 10, Brother Martin nothing.
How about a shocker in Thibodaux, fourth quarter, De La Salle 20, Edie White 17.
Oh, my goodness. I said that they were battle-tested, right?
Yep. I watched them play Holy Cross in week 2. So, their record is deceiving. Jalen Coleman brings that one in, and he'll get it up to the 39-yard line. So the offsetting penalties will actually wind up resulting in a net about -9 yards for the Terriers with the change in field position from what would have been the 48, now make it -10 to the 38. So Vandebilt Catholic will start at their own 38. 3:48 to play in the third quarter.
Out in St. James 35, Northwestern 12.
Hey, got into double digits. Probably 2 extra points. We could never do that. My senior year, when our kicker kicked it into the rear end of the center, our coach decided from that point forward we'd be going for two.
There you go.
It's Chestnut again. He hands it off. And that's number 21. Robert Sandoff with the carry. He's going to get up to the 40, so that'll be a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, usually if you can't get it above the center, you're going to go for 2. That's that's what's going to happen on those type of kicks.
Mm-hmm. And so Chestnut will take the snap. Golly, just blew that up. I mean, they couldn't have blown it up anymore. Oh, but here comes a personal foul penalty here after the play. This is going to be, number 10, so it's Scott Adele, who pushed down Bernard Causey after the play. He's trying to say Causey pulled his towel out. But you know how this goes, Wade. It's the reactor.
Yeah, right. You're going to get the retaliation. There's no doubt about it. They're going to get that. And, that's just, you don't do that. You don't push him down if he grabs your towel or whatever. You just
let him keep it.
Let him keep it. It's a towel.
Ask him to autograph it at this point.
Right. I mean, these are things. And I know there's a lot of frustration and there's a lot of, you're just upset because you're getting your tail handed to you, but you can't continue to have these type of penalties.
So it ends up being no gain for Sandoff, which I think is generous. Causey comes off the field, and so this is going to be personal foul against both teams. It'll be offsetting, so probably what it should have been. So Causey comes off the field, but Adele will stay in. He will go to the far side of the field now, line up his receiver at the far side of the field on 3rd and 12. Actually, I take it back. They do make it a loss of 1, so it was a 1-yard loss. Still probably a little bit generous considering how fast they got to him back there. So it'll be 3rd and 11 now from the 37 for the Terriers. 2:55 and counting to play in the third quarter. And now it looks like they've got the play call. Teams coming to the line. Chestnut rolls back, looking to pass. He's going to put it up, and he underthrows it, but the receiver is going to make the catch, and the Terriers have their first completion of the night. That was number 3, Jari Coleman on the catch.
Yeah, he goes up and gets that one, right? He does a nice job.
From the 37 to the 43. Yeah, we've got an injured Kennedy Cougar player at the far end of the field. Well, that's going to be a 20-yard gain.
It might be Tyler Morrison, number 8.
20-yard gain to Jari Coleman.
That's the injured Cougar, if I'm not mistaken.
So
And he's up and moving. That's good news. He's a good football player. He's
Yep.
had a nice night all night in coverage. He's going to have to come off a play.
Yep, going to have to come off a play. The first.
There he goes. And like I said, he's had a nice night. He does a nice job in coverage, and he's a senior.
I'm going to send Wayne from right here. I'm going to send Wayne. Go get him, Wayne.
All right, so first down and 10 from the Cougar 43. Chestnut takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Sandoff up the middle, and boy, he just gets blown up from behind. That'll be a 2-yard pickup on the play for Sandoff.
Here they come, right? Boom. A lot of penetration in the backfield, especially number 44, Jermaine Salter. They've been living there all night. It's like they're roasting marshmallows in the backfield, right?
Yeah.
The penetration by the guys in yellow.
They certainly are. Looking to pass, Chestnut across the middle. This one is complete. That's going to be good. That's going to be number 80, just James Guidry. Finally comes down with the completion up to the 25.
Nice throw by Chestnut. He puts that on the money on a curl route.
18-yard pickup.
Sets his feet. He's got nice throwing motion. It's the wide open receiver between the numbers. Good execution. Good protection that time.
Yes. So first and 10 from the Cougar 25. Terriers about as deep into the Kennedy territory as they've been all night. 1:20 to play in the third quarter. Chestnut takes the snap, hands it off to Sandoff, and boy, that play is blown up. That number 9, Hurley McDonald, who could have almost taken the handoff from Chestnut himself.
Last guy on the line of scrimmage, watch him coming off the edge right here. Only one way to handle that, right? You either read him and disconnect, or you're going to have to put a body on him somehow.
A loss of 1.
He almost took the handoff, right?
He did. You're exactly right.
He's right there. He could have taken that handoff.
Chestnut under pressure, and down he goes, and there's a flag on the play, so let's see what this is. Oh, no, it's a shoe. Okay, I'm sorry. A yellow shoe. So that's going to be a loss all the way back to the 33-yard line. So 7-yard loss as they just ate up Chestnut.
Yeah, well, that was number 20, Thomas, and number 9, McDonald again getting home.
So third down and forever from the 33. And we've got a flag now. Rub salt and... Or is this a timeout? We got a timeout, okay. So timeout for the Terrier. Oh, that's the end of the quarter, okay. So none of the above. So that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. The Kennedy Cougars just rolling in this second round D2 select playoff game, leading Vandebilt Catholic 46-6. My. So looking at other D2 select scores, St. Thomas More now starting to stretch it out. 57-8 over Estruma third quarter. St. Michael the Archangel 42-8 over Livingston Collegiate. Another team from this John F. Kennedy district. Fourth quarter, still Shaw 17, Evangel 13. Lafayette Christian 47, Peabody 8 in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, McDonough 35-41, St. Louis Catholic 14. Third quarter, Turlings Catholic 24, Madison Prep 14. Fourth quarter, De La Salle 27, Edie White 24.
How about this final out of Shreveport? Archbishop Brummel 13, Captain Shreve, the number 2 seed. If I'm not mistaken, you called it in Division 1-3.
Chestnut takes the snap. He hands it off to Sandoff, and Sandoff is actually going to wind up losing a yard on that delayed handoff. So that'll set up 4th and long. There's just the Shreveport schools. They just can't compete.
We traveled one year up to Airline, and Airline was a very good football team. And I tell you what, they handed it to us that night up there. That was a long trip, right? To go all the way up there, and we felt good about ourselves, and we got spanked. They spanked us pretty good. And Airline that year was a really, really good football team.
Chestnut takes the snap on 4th down, and he's going to be sacked from behind. A couple of Cougars hit each other, helmet-on-helmet action there on the sack. He goes back to the 41, a loss of 7, and that'll be a turnover on down. So Chestnut just getting eaten up there.
Yeah, eaten up by Jermaine Salter. He beat the tackle on the edge with one really quick little swim move, and he's home, right? Mm-hmm. It seems to be the story all night for those defensive ends, outside linebackers for John F. Kennedy. Those guys are just running past those Vandebilt tackles like they're standing still.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a long trip that night up to Shreveport to play Airline. Great crowd. It was cold that night. I believe it was a 2nd-round playoff game. And I think Coach Feaster was the coach, if I'm not mistaken, that time at Airline.
He may have been.
That particular year.
Many moons ago, I covered a 2nd-round playoff game with Higgins at Airline around 2005-ish when I was in the Shreveport area. So JFK will take over at their own 41, and now they're going to call timeout. So 11 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. And that'll give us a moment to mention our 4th quarter sponsor. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. The Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. We even have great deals for under $12,000. Must be a reason. We thank all of our sponsors here helping us to bring you these games each and every week live on CrescentCitySports.com for free. Matt Sims alongside Wade Kaiser bringing you tonight's action.
Big shocker, Alexandria 16, Brother Martin nothing.
Man, that is surprising. And
this barn burner, John Curtis 35, St. Aug 34.
Oh, it is amazing how St. Aug can always play Curtis to a barn burner. Snap to Darrensburg, hands it off to Brown. Brown evades the tackler across the 50, out to the 45. And that is going to be a 14-yard pickup.
Yeah, running through arms, right? Strong. I'm impressed with Brown. Look, runs through the tackle there, runs through a tackle there, and finally brought down. He's strong in the lower body. Runs downhill, always falling forward.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 at the Terriers. It's going to be 46-yard line, so that'll actually be a 13-yard pickup. Snap to Darrensburg, he'll hand it off to Brown. Brown just bulldozing his way forward from the 46. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 42. That'll be a 4-yard pickup. Yeah, so that'll be a 4-yard gain. Omarion Brown up to 8 carries, 119 yards. Cougars up to 212 yards rushing as a team on the night. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Second down and 6 from the 42. Handoff to Brown again. He cuts it up to the right, breaks a tackle, evades another tackler. He's going to get it down to the 31. So from the 42 to the 31, that'll be an 11-yard pickup. We've got a Kennedy Cougar down. So it's Nicholas Thomas. I'm sorry, we're giving Brown all the credit on that. He's built just like Brown.
Hey, it looks just like him, right? He spit an image, unless that's Brown in another jersey, right? Nope, somebody's down for Kennedy.
So will.
It's turned to be pretty conventional now. I think Kennedy's trying to run the clock, and
yep.
I think Vandebilt wants to run the clock, right? So.
Yeah, they're at this point they're probably not against that.
Yeah. It's big number 57, Diedrich Mossop, who has had a nice night. That whole offensive line from Kennedy has had a great night. Phoenix, Frazier, Grant, Green, Mossop. Those guys have really controlled the line of scrimmage. It's always good to get the mention of an offensive lineman's name in a positive aspect, right?
Yes.
Not a hold or a illegal procedure penalty or something of that nature.
Yeah, I never heard my name called for any type of accolade. It was because somebody saw something on the film, or like we talked about, I tried to get my block and get to where the defender was supposed to be, and the only thing I saw was the back of his jersey as he was eating up the running back. Well, I never gave up a sack. I always had a strategy as an offensive lineman that if the defender was going to get the better of me, I was going to take him with me.
Well, absolutely. It's called holding.
And look, that's exactly what I did. It's another handoff. And Thomas is met by a host of Terrier defenders. That's going to be no gain, maybe a loss on the play. And we've got another flag on the sideline. So what is this going to be now? You had it. So they've got the ball marked at the 34. That'd be a two-yard loss. Unsportsmanlike on Vandebilt.
No, that would be on Kennedy, I believe.
Oh, Kennedy. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're right. My apologies. So it'll be a negative 2-yard play and then a 15-yard penalty. So that's their 10th penalty of the night. They got 10 penalties for 88 yards, so that'll be the one thing that they'll certainly want to clean up during Turkey Week practices next week. This will back the ball up to the 49-yard line. I wanted to mention with Archbishop Rumble's victory at Captain Shreve, they will finally get to be at home next week. They'll be playing at home in the quarterfinals against either Tioga or St. Paul's. Handoff up the middle, and he's met for no gain here.
Yeah, they don't want to spend another week buying Hotards, right? I mean, it gets expensive on the old athletic budget.
It starts to become cheaper to just stay in the hotel for the week.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been the deal if it would have had gone back up to Shreveport. I should have called Nick and told him that.
But the problem is there's no more teams in Shreveport for him to beat. So I guess if it's time to come home, they've conquered Caddo Parish, north side and south side. So it'll be 4th down now and a significant distance. And the Cougars are on the punt, and they're running the player on last minute. And they get him on. And now we're going to call a penalty. And this will be a false start. So back them up 5 more yards. So this has been the only bugaboo of the night for them, has been the penalties.
Yep, they need to clean that up, no doubt about it. I was pretty impressed with the soccer skills of the punter right there, dribbling the ball on his foot. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
He's also dancing. Pretty good dancer. So
it'll make it 4th and 32 for those wondering the exact distance. And they'll try to punt it away again. If I'm Vandebilt at this point, why not just send the house? And he'll get the punt off pretty decent, end over end. It's going to be hauled in. And he's going to turn the corner. He's got it. He's got some distance. Here comes a flag, though. Massive block in the back. Saw a yellow jersey flying through the air, getting some frequent flyer miles there on that block in the back.
And here comes another flag. We've got all types of
And another
unsportsmen
flag.
out there again.
Man, oh man. So I believe that was Henri Lepere on the return. Yep, Henri.
Yep, here comes your block in the back right there.
Right there.
We don't have anything to say. Tell them shut up with the fucking talking.
So,
Nothing else to say. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to say. You don't have anything to say. Coaches, tell your positions, brother.
so we got unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, they had a couple of them all over the place. It's getting kind of ugly with that. I mean, it's this is coaches need to take control of their players. They need to take them off to the side. And the next thing, I'll tell you what needs to happen is the white hat needs to call out the captains from each team and set a precedent right now and says, look, this all ends now.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen is there are going to start to be some ejections from games.
Yep.
Kennedy cannot have that moving into next week's quarterfinals.
No, cannot have that. So, I mean, if you're Kennedy, put in your second stringers. Don't even let your first stringers be out there to possibly get called for any of this foolishness.
And if you're Vandebilt, you need to pull your players together and say, hey, we need to walk out of here with our heads up, and we need to stop with all of the shenanigans, right? That just needs to be done.
All the penalties are against Vandebilt. So Kennedy might have been talking, but they did not get flagged for any of this. So this kick return that got across midfield after 3 different penalties. So we had the block in the back, then we had an unsportsmanlike by somebody on the sideline, then we had a personal foul. This backs the ball all the way up. You had the unsportsmanlike and the block in the back. That's 30 yards worth of penalties. It's going to back it all the way up to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, one of them was dead ball. The other one was a live ball, right?
Yep.
So you're going to mark off both, one right after the other.
No, Chestnut still in at quarterback. He'll hand it off. And that's Coleman who gets it, and not much going there, just as it has been all night for him.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kennedy. If what they need to do is they need to get their starters off the field, right, before somebody actually does something that's going to put them out of a game next week.
Yep. Yeah, it's just there's no point at this juncture. Inside 7 minutes to play. Second down and 9. Chestnut in at quarterback. Take the snap. It's another handoff to Coleman. He's going to that's handoff rather. He bounces outside, and he's going to get across the 20 to about the 21. So that'll be a gain of 4. That'll give him the 22. It'll be a gain of 5 for Sandoff.
Yeah, Sandoff's had a nice little year. He's a junior, also like Coleman. He comes in averaging 6 yards a carry. Tonight he's definitely not going to match that, but he's had a nice season.
So Chestnut, 3rd down and 4. It is now final. Archbishop Shell 20, Evangel 13.
Oh, my goodness.
So Kennedy will be hosting the Shaw Eagles next week. Pass deep for Chestnut throwing, and what a catch by number 9, John Wade. No, he drops the ball. He hits the ground and drops the ball. And, he is down. He hit the ground harder than anybody's probably ever hit him on that. But, what an effort here.
Chestnut gives him a chance to go up and get the ball, and it looks like he comes down. He might have come down on the ball on his stomach, maybe. It kind of looked like he pulled it in underneath his ribs. You see how he's holding his rib cage there, right there? Might have got the wind knocked out of him.
From this angle, it looks like he's got possession when he hits the ground, but we can't see what happens. And, all this football move stuff. I don't even know
what's a catch.
I don't even know what a football move is. I thought,
What's a catch and what's not a catch, right?
So, in any case, it'll be ruled incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down and 4 from the 22-yard line for Vandebilt. And now Wade is getting up and walking off the field, just like you said, more than likely. Knock the air out of him. It's more D2 select final. St. Thomas More 57, Estrema 14, St. Michael the Archangel 49, Livingston Collegiate 14. So St. Thomas More and St. Michael will meet next week. 3rd quarter, Lafayette Christian 47, Peabody 8, McDonough 35, 41, St. Louis Catholic 14 in the 4th quarter. 4th quarter, now Madison Prep Turlings Catholic 24-24, and still 4th quarter, De La Salle 27, E.D. White 24.
Oh my goodness.
So Vandebilt back to punt on 4th and 4. Ramirez takes it in, he'll punt it. Nice punt, one of the best of the night. Nobody back to receive. This is going to take a huge bounce. I mean, this is going to be a 60-yard punt. It's going to go inside the 20-yard line.
That'll up your statistics a little bit.
Yeah, that will certainly do so. I mean, so the punt from the 22 down inside the 22 to the 17. That is a 61-yard punt.
It's kind of like hitting a 200-yard drive and rolling another 100 yards, right? I mean, there you go.
That's the only way I play. I mean, that 200 yards in the air might not be more than 5 or 6 feet off the ground, but who cares?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's traveling. All that matters is where it ends up. So 1st and 10 at the 17 for Kennedy. It's going to be a handoff. To number 28, that is Nathaniel Freeman. Also in at quarterback now, Calvin Sparrow. So Kennedy doing just what we said, getting the starters out of there.
He can play linebacker, he can tackle on special teams, and he can play quarterback. I'm impressed with this guy.
So that's going to be a 3-yard pickup for Nathaniel Freeman.
Talking about Calvin Sparrow, and that's interesting, huh?
Well, it makes sense to put him at quarterback because he's been wherever the ball's been all night long.
Exactly.
So might as well put him behind center.
Absolutely.
He'll take the handoff, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, brings it near side of the field, gets across the 25, out of bounds around the 27, and that'll be near a 1st down.
Coach is on him about not going out of bounds. Should have stayed in bounds.
Yep. Mistake there.
Always teaching. Got to know the situational awareness, right?
And so that'll go from the 20-yard line up to the 28. That'll be an 8-yard pickup, and that is the aforementioned 1st down. So I take it back, it was a 60-yard punt because that drive started at the 18 and not the 17. Takes the handoff, snap, hands it off again to Freeman, who runs out of bounds. So if I were the coaches, I would line my players up.
And then there's a flag.
I would line my players up and I would say, I want you to stare at your colleague here, and if he starts to act like he's going to run out of bounds, you gear up like you're about to knock his head off, right, so that he drops down to a knee before he goes out of bounds.
Right. Situational awareness. Yep. Teach the game, teach the game, teach the game.
It's a 4-yard pickup up to this moment. Let's see what the penalty is.
Well, he's given a dissertation. It's interesting.
The offense out of offset at all, so we'll replay the down. Oh, and then a dead ball personal foul, so that'll mark it off. Man, oh man. I mean, Vandebilt Catholic has had more than 5 penalties tonight, but they've had so many offsetting. Well, I'm sorry, they had the 2 other 15s. I forgot
Well, it's the unsportsmanlikes and the personal fouls that are
so 7 penalties, 90 yards for the Terriers, but this is going to give the Cougars now a first down on what would have been a 4-yard gain. This is going to move it up now to the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth, right? I mean,
yep. 4:41 to play in the contest. Sparrow still in at quarterback. Freeman in the backfield beside him.
And there's some issues going on over on the Vandebilt sideline. There's this doesn't look good.
White Hat running over to
Tommy Minton wants to have a word with the White Hat.
So is this a timeout? Did they call a timeout so we can get this discussion?
He might have called a timeout. I'm not sure. You by rule you would have to call a timeout. Right. It would have to be granted. You call it. It's granted, and then you get the opportunity to speak to the White Hat. I don't know if he wants an explanation on what the personal foul was, or at this stage of the game if he's just venting.
Yeah.
He's got to be careful because he's got that one unsportsman on him already.
There's certainly some venting going on.
Look, now he's a veteran. I've known Tommy Minton for years. We're first-class gentleman, first-class coach. Coached for a number of years at Patterson High School. Did a great job there. Now he's at Vandebilt Catholic. Had the opportunity to coach against him, and the uncharacteristic of Tommy Minton getting an unsportsmanlike on him.
So while they have their discussion over there, final score: Holy Cross 42, Jesuit nothing. Carr 50, Woodlawn Baton Rouge nothing. Fourth quarter now: Alexandria 23, Brother Martin nothing. Catholic Baton Rouge defeated John Ehret 45-9. Curtis has now stretched the lead out. It is 42-34 over St. Aug, still in the fourth quarter. St. Paul's 38, Tioga 14. That is a final. So next week it'll be St. Paul's at Rummel.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
A jamboree rematch there.
Yes. They always compete well against each other.
And so now, here we go. We'll try to get this back underway. 4:41 to play. First down and 10 at the 43-yard line for the Cougars. Sparrow in shotgun, motion. That's number 32. He hands it off to Edamonte Reed. And he will pick up about 2 yards on the play. So everybody's starting to get in on the action now for...
That's another Samsung guy?
He doesn't get that far.
That's another Samsung guy.
Why is the clock stopped?
What is that?
There it goes. At this stage of the game, I think both teams just want that clock to run. They just want to.
I think so too.
They just want to get it rolling, and
it'll be a 2-yard pickup for Reed. Second down and 8 from the 45, coming up on 4 minutes. And now, why not? Let's have a timeout. At least it's the last one of the night Kennedy can call.
Yep, they're out. They're done.
I mean, I guess they give them to you so you burn them, but if it were me, I'd be shaking hands by now. Although, I don't know. This has been so chippy. You might just wave at each other across the field and call it a day.
Yeah, well.
Might be some... I know next week is Thanksgiving, but there might be some birds flying in this handshake the way this is going.
Well, you just gotta, coaches got to handle that, right? You gotta make sure your players are understand the meaning of what goes on with athletic competition, and that comes from teaching and coaching. You're dealing with an emotional situation, and your coaches have got to make sure that they're on top of things.
I mean, I guess the fortunate thing is, even though it's been chippy, we haven't had anybody really get into a scrum, so that's been good. So we're back from the timeout now. Second down and 8 from the 45. Snap to Sparrow. Handoff. This is going to be number 88. And that's Cash Williams. What a great name. And Cash Williams is going to get up to the 35-yard line. That'll be a 17-yard pickup.
Yeah, he's money.
There you go. You've been waiting all night for that one, haven't you?
Attaboy. Bada bing, bada boom.
Man.
Thank you. I'll be here for another 3:35.
There you will.
Right. Yeah, cash money. There you go. I like it.
So Cash Williams with the 48 to the 35. Like I said, actually, it looks like, 35. That'll be a 17-yard pickup.
I bet you his nickname is Easy Money.
It should be.
There you go. That's awesome.
3 minutes.
Well,
Still some confusion over personnel and alignment. They get the snap off without any type of penalty. It's a handoff to Freeman again, who bounces it outside, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Confusion on that, and eventually landed a handoff to Freeman, and he's going to lose a couple yards. So back from the 35 to the 37.
yeah, he kind of ran up in there, and there was no place to go, so he puts the brakes on real quick and kind of bounces outside, and Vandebilt defense caught up with him.
Fourth quarter, now it's Curtis 49, St. Aug 34. So probably some defensive touchdowns there going on. Another final, Destrehan 31, Bell Chase 10.
Looks like, there we go, they're ready to kneel on it.
And now we're going to just kneel on it. Sparrow will take the knee. So that'll bring us up to third down. They won't be able to run out the clock, but, I mean, they'll, for all practical purposes, get it run out. So the Kennedy Cougars, the Fighting Row Browns.
Why did the clock stop?
You know,
Why did the clock stop?
that's a amazing question. That is an amazing question. 2 minutes, 7 seconds. All right, he's watching for the ref to make the signal. Snap to Sparrow, and he'll take another knee at the 47. All right, so now the clock's down to 2:01. They're just keeping it on the field at this point. With the 40 seconds, they would have run it down to about 1:30. Another 40 here would get it down to about 50. So they would have to turn the ball back over at this point.
Yeah,
They'll take another knee, run it down,
and then kick the ball.
Well, this is fourth down here.
Well, this is fourth down.
Yeah, they'll just run it down and take another knee. Vandebilt will get the ball where they kneel it across midfield. So he'll take a knee. So 106, 105. And the clock will stop at 103. So Vandebilt will get the ball at the
It'll stop on the change of possession.
At the Kennedy 48. But this one is in the books. And the Kennedy Cougars set up. Going to get a matchup with legendary coach Hank Tierney next week here.
Should be interesting.
Well, of course, I don't know. We can't say for sure the game. Well, the game may not be, because McDonough's going to host next week as well. McDonough has beat St. Louis Catholic, so one of these teams is going to have to play in a different venue if they want to play on Friday.
Correct.
But in any case, Kennedy will host Shaw wherever the game is. So that will be one of the local games of the week for sure. And as we're lining up here, we have got whistles once again. So we just want to get the last minute 3 off the clock.
Or throw a flag. Those guys are going to have to ice down tonight.
All right, 1st and 10 to 47, and here comes a flag.
Riding back to Baton Rouge with your elbow in a bucket of ice.
Yep. So he throws the flag. This is going to be a 5-yard penalty. Too many men on the field for the defense. Illegal substitution. So that'll be the 12th penalty of the night. Again, as we mentioned, about the only negative thing for the Cougars tonight has been the penalties. Definitely got to clean that up. Handoff from Chestnut up the middle. A send-off again. So from the 43 to the 41, that'll be a 2-yard pickup. And that won't be the final play. There will have to be at least one more snap.
They'll have to snap it one more time, like you say, because they're not going to be able to beat the 40-second clock. But really impressed with this John F. Kennedy football team.
Oh, man, handoff. This was a end around to number 3, Jari Coleman, and he's just blown up in the backfield for a 7-yard loss. 6-yard loss is going to be officially, and that is going to do it. The Kennedy Cougars have knocked out the Vandebilt Catholic Terriers by a score of 46-6, and they will move on to the quarterfinals of the Division II Select Playoffs. And both teams now coming to the field to shake hands. So a hard-fought game, but in the end, cool heads do prevail. The coaches hug it out at midfield, so it's good to know.
Right.
And very impressive performance here by the Cougars, Wade.
Right. Now, look, like I said, I think they're going to open up a bunch of eyes real quick when they teams around the state are going to look up, like over there in Lafayette and places like that are going to look up and take a look at the stats and the scoring of this John F. Kennedy team and what they're doing offensively and defensively, right? I think that they're going to turn a lot of heads, and I think they're going to make a lot of noise in this Division II bracket.
Quick look at the final stats. The Cougars 24 rushes, 218 yards, 16 of 26 passing, 188 yards for Amani Darensburg, 5 touchdowns. And James Evans led all receivers, 7 catches, 108 yards for 3 touchdowns. And for the Vandebilt Catholic Terriers, 36 carries on the night, 115 yards, 2 completions for 38 yards. Jalen Coleman really was the offense. The 73-yard run was really it. That brings him to 20 carries and 105 yards. You take that away, he had a 19-carry, 32-yard night.
Yeah.
Very impressive performance by the Cougar defense. They're for real.
They're for real.
If anybody was wondering, they are absolutely for real. And so, as we mentioned, next week they will play host to the Archbishop Shaw Eagles. The Eagles will make the trek across the river and come take on the Cougars in the quarterfinals. And next week on Crescent City Sports, we'll have a quarterfinal playoff game. Visit our website at crescentcitysports.com to find out more. Remember that it's always live and always free here on Crescent City Sports. Wade, it's been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it, and it was really enjoyable to get a chance to work with you, and it was really enjoyable to see this John F. Kennedy football team tonight.
It really was. I hope the ankle heals up enough so you have a nice Thanksgiving on Thursday. But it was a very impressive performance, and enjoyed the night immensely with you. And so for Wade Kaiser, I'm Matt Sims, thanking you for tuning in to watch tonight's game. Again, the final score, John F. Kennedy Cougars 46, the Vandebilt Catholic Terriers 6. So long, everybody.